Watching, you are listening to Pop Culture Unleashed every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. or close to 10 a.m. as we can get it. Shane, how are you doing today, brother?
Good, man. Good. It's good to be back. Sorry I missed you on Friday with that excellent show you had going on, and I'm really happy to be here Monday after a long trip. I actually went to Texas the last several days because I was so concerned about the border crisis and everything happening. I just had to go down to Texas and see for myself.
Did you get pictures?
No, actually, it's kind of BS. I did go to Texas, but not for the border crossing because I don't give a shit about it that much. So I went for another reason. I actually drove 3,000 miles in 3 days and 7 hours. I took my 11-year-old with me, which is another reason why I wasn't going to go visit the border. But I did drive around the border, and we'll be talking about that today. And I did see some things and talk to some border patrol agents, which will be fun to find out what they're thinking.
Yeah, so we are talking about the maybe impending civil war if things keep going spiraling out of control. Also, the Navy has dropped its requirements yet again. And just to be clear, so did the Army did too a couple years ago.
Boat. I said boat. Can I join? Boat.
So far, I mean, at this point, the military keeps dropping its requirements. Then my 12-year-old is going to be able to, with a heart problem, is going to be able to sign up. Here's the deal. That is something we need to talk about because it's really bad. And Shane and I are both ex-military, so we'll be able to tell you about the requirements that they were when we joined and how we think it's so bullshit that we had to work so hard. Also, Taylor Swift is in the news again. This time, it's actually interesting news because apparently thousands, 260,000 to be accurate, NSFW nude, rude images of her were generated and flooded the internet. And I gotta give it to her. Her and her team are very good at getting rid of every one of those because I have not been able to find a single one. I saw them when it was happening. I didn't think to save it per se because who wants to save Taylor Swift getting, taken from behind by Oscar the Grouch?
I mean, there are people who want to see that.
I should have saved it.
Yeah, 100% true. There are people who want to see that.
But we're going to talk about it either way because it's a problem. Like, look, and we'll talk about it. We'll get into that. And we got the Weekly Weird coming up. And the Weekly Weird today, once again, is sponsored by the Truly Weird. But could it be weird? It could be weird. It could be real. We don't know. And I love the trend that the Weekly Weird is going on. You see this trend?
Yeah,
like Bigfoot, Atlantis, aliens.
Yeah, I'm digging all this stuff. This
before it was like anything a guy did in Florida.
Yeah, a homeless guy in Florida gets a sandwich.
Right. I think one we had where literally it's like a homeless guy got arrested for having sex with a statue outside of a taco joint.
Yeah, that was.
And then when he got out of jail, he went back and continued molesting that statue. Like he was really into it.
Well, I'll tell you this: when they figure out what happened to those Kansas City Chiefs fans, like 3 of them froze outside while the one dude was inside and slept for like 2 days. Like they literally froze to death outside the front door. Yeah, and nobody knows. It's like this really weird thing that happened, and there's obviously something bad has happened. All the news hasn't been figured out. When it does, we are going to go into that story because it is fascinating how they all got together to watch the Chiefs play football, right? And then 3 of the people in the party ended up freezing outside.
Well, maybe they cried themselves into a freeze.
No, they won.
Oh, they won.
Yeah, the Chiefs won. Oh, and in fact, happy Super Bowl preparations, everybody. The Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers will be playing each other in the Super Bowl 2 weeks from yesterday. So congrats to all of you 49ers and Chiefs fans. I hope you burn in hell. Okay. I got to tell you, you want me, like, don't root for your team for sure. It's funny. Christopher Mays sent a Discord message saying, "Hey Shane, who are you rooting for?" Something about his wife's making him root for the 49ers. I said, well, unfortunately, I don't like the 49ers. And, as much as I want to support you and your family, I'm rooting for the Detroit Lions. Every team I rooted for pretty much lost. So, yeah, not good. But I would like to address.
Take that superpower and start betting on the opposite team you're rooting for.
I got to. No. My luck would be they'd start winning. So that, or I guess that could also work in my favor too. If I want somebody to win, I just start.
What if you just sort of casually mentioned it to me? I'm rooting for this team, and then I'll bet without you knowing about it. So the universe.
We should try this.
We can fool the universe. Yeah.
We should try this because I swear to God, I never win.
I can't get back into betting. By the way, I had a pretty good run when I bet on the Patriots for like 4 years straight.
Yeah, good odds.
Yeah. Actually, the odds were. Like the odds of me winning were great, but like the money odds, how much you made, were not very good because they kept winning. But people kept assuming they were going to lose, and I was like, and I'm not even a football fan, you guys. I'm just like bandwagon bet. Let's go.
Well, I'm one of those guys who likes to do the bet where you put $1 and then try to pick all the winners, and like if you win, you get like $1,000. Those are my kind of bets. I don't like to play real money. But I do want to go into something here real quick.
We've had a gambling problem. Sorry, go ahead.
What is it?
I said I have a gambling problem.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just admitting that here to you. My name is Brian, and I have a gambling problem.
You don't have enough money to gamble as often as you'd like to.
Hi, my name is Brian, and I'm a gambler, and I don't have enough money to gamble.
I don't have enough money to gamble. That's my gambling problem.
That's my.
I was going to say, yeah, you don't have enough money to find out if you have a gambling problem. So for real, we've been getting some interesting comments on some of the clips that we've been putting out for the channel, and some people who are asking us, is this a political channel now? No, this is not a political channel. This is what we would call a zeitgeist channel. We're going to cover whatever the biggest thing is that's happening in popular culture. This is the Popcast, the popular, what do we call this thing now? Pop culture.
Pop culture unleashed.
Pop culture unleashed. So what that means is whatever's happening in pop culture is what we're going to talk about. I know there's a lot of you who joined us while we were talking pretty much only Star Trek for quite some time. And we had this really great run for Picard season 3 where it was really fantastic. But let's be honest here. Star Trek has gone forward to poop the bed. Hopefully it'll turn itself around in the future. But, as much as we'd love to run a show where, a couple hundred people watch it and we just have a good time, talking Star Trek, it's just not conducive for the future. So Brian and I decided we're going to expand the channel to talk about things that that's kind of going on. So if you want to be updated on current events, if you want to talk about kind of what everybody's talking about online or on Twitter or in the news, that's what we're going to be talking about Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And will there be some Star Trek in there when there's news? Absolutely.
100%.
So you shouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Don't go nowhere. Why not? Why go anywhere? It's a good place to be.
If you're having fun, stick around. That's it.
Yeah. All right. So that's just like Jennifer says here. There's just not very much Star Trek right now. Yeah,
there isn't. There just isn't. And yeah,
I mean, good or bad, we would talk about it, but there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, there's just nothing there. And honestly, I'm just disappointed with the direction that it's going right now. Frankly speaking, it's hard to get it. It's hard to talk about something you have no excitement for. And I don't have a lot of excitement for what's going forward in Trek right now. Now, if they decide they want to do Legacy or something goes in that direction, then Brian and I'm sure will want to talk about it. But you can't ask us to talk about Starfleet Academy and the death of Star Trek Discovery every day. So,
yeah, Archmage, I did play the full Timekeepers game, but I haven't finished it yet. When I do, I will make sure to let everyone know how it goes. It is better than the demo, that's for sure. Yeah,
I saw it. It looks pretty cool. So yeah we're gonna.
Yeah, it's better than the demo. The demo was not their best foot forward, which was weird. Like when you have a demo, it should be like the best part of your game, not the most boring part of your game. It makes no sense.
I think they're really trying to get it out. They've been struggling with money and time. It's not been an easy effort to get it out. So when it does come out, if you like it, they would probably appreciate the.
To be fair, they're the only game company that's managed to get an actual full-fledged PC Stargate game out, not mobile, whatever. But like, and five studios have tried. 5 studios have tried and failed, and they got super close to the finish line, like almost there, and dropped the ball. Funding, something happened. This is the first one to actually release it. Yeah, Archmage, the Stargate MMO, like years and years ago, I got to play a demo of that, and I was so stoked. That was gonna be my new game, and then it just phased out.
We are going to be talking about it. I think the embargo ends this week. So I think next week we'll talk about it.
Yeah, it actually ended today.
Was it today?
Yeah. But I haven't finished it though, so.
Well, maybe Wednesday we can talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, so you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's talk about let's talk about the Civil War thing. If you notice, the thumbnail I made is actually my take on the Civil War movie, basically.
I saw that. I was kind of hoping there'd be like a big Texas map or something in there.
Oh yeah, I probably should have done that too. I didn't think that through. But the thing is, the movie coming out, it's weird timing. Like, I know the movie is just a movie.
Is it just a
but
movie?
Is it? Because it's funny. It's like it's almost prophetic. Like they're like, I'm not thinking. I don't think we're gonna actually go to Civil War. Like what the requirements for it to happen would be for feds to shoot at Texans or vice versa.
Oh, wait a sec though. We're gonna go through the entire timeline of what's happened up till now and what is the next step that could implement Civil War. We are going to talk about that.
Interesting. But that movie, though, is very interesting. It's fascinating to me because the timing couldn't. I mean, I know they planned it around an election year for sure, but like it's also, if you look at when you watch the trailer, it's the border states that are fighting against the rest of the nation.
Right. Yeah. And the Civil War movie, by the way, comes out in April. So we're literally 3 months from that happening. And now all this stuff's happening in Texas, right?
Right.
So you've got, so I think what we should do, let's talk about the thing that's happening with Texas. And then we can talk about, what that means. And then talk about the Civil War and if there's any things that are, that match as far as what we're looking at.
Yeah. So bottom line is we are getting an insane amount of people crossing into the United States from Mexico. A lot. It's not something that should be ignored. People that are on the other side of the aisle, or that side of the aisle, they're acting like it's completely normal, that it's not a 423% increase from 2020. That's insane number. It's a massive amount of people that cannot be verified, and when they say, well, we are verifying people at ports of entry. We're getting drugs. We're, the Border Patrol agents are doing the job. That's ports of entry. Remember that southern border is massive, and there is, and 90% of it's not a port of entry. So we have an incredible amount of people coming in the States from Mexico, with very, very little vetting on who they are, where they come from, what they have on their person, what their intentions are, et cetera, et cetera. But more importantly is the massive, what do they call it? A fire hose of just people just being poured into the country. And so what happened was Governor Abbott, Texas, and the governor of Texas had decided they're going to stop that massive influx of people coming in. So they started building barriers with razor wire, and they called it inhumane. They went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court actually gave them the ability to remove it. So the Supreme Court's decision for removing the barricades with razor wire was because those barricades were stopping the feds from doing their job of creating barricades. What the F? That was the reason. The reasoning is that it was messing with their ability to secure the border. But they're removing the barriers. It's so confusing to me, the logic that this country...
Let me clear it up for you a little bit. Yeah. Maybe, how about we clear it up? So, you're kind of going through, and I get it. You're kind of just, diatribing the whole thing out. But
I'm trying to make sure everyone knows what started this. Go ahead.
Well, what started it is, you're right. There's, we had, as many as 10 million people have come into this country legally and illegally this year. We have 10,000 new people in the country, 10 million new people in the country. Let's look, this don't mess with Texas thing, that's their state motto. And it's real. It's real. Trust me. I was there just recently. So on January 10th, so a couple weeks ago, Texas Governor Greg Abbott decided enough was enough. And he ordered Texas National Guard to start putting up razor wire, which also, is barbed wire or cantina wire, cantina wire, along the Rio Grande shores, the river there, of Eagle Pass in this area called Shelby Park. And there's a map if you want to put it up, Brian. I gave you 3 maps in the Pop News
I got it,
channel. If you want to put it up. So what happened was when they decided to put up this, and this happens to be an area of Texas where a lot of people see, because the Rio Grande is there and it borders kind of two towns. So this is kind of like the overview of it. So here's Texas on the right, Mexico on the left, and as you can see, up in the upper left-hand corner is El Paso, kind of up there near Ciudad Juarez, up there in the upper left. So that's and that's a big area where our borders are close together. But if you come down here to Eagle Pass in this kind of, I would say, more desolate area of Texas, this is where the river runs down. And as you can see, that jagged edge, the Rio Grande River is the border of Texas and Mexico in most spaces, right? So there's a city there called Eagle Pass. And if you look at the next slide or the next image that we have there, this actually shows what they were doing. So there's a park, a 2.5 mile area where a lot of people were coming through across the border. It happened to have weak points. There is a port of entry there, kind of near that as well. And they were kind of circumnavigating that. So on January 10th, Governor Greg Abbott said, enough's enough. And they decided, he ordered the National Guard to put up razor wire in that area to block it off. Now, when he put that razor wire up, it also happened to block out, not only is it going to stop anybody from coming across, but it also stops border agents from going out into the river and like rescuing people that might be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and then bringing them to our shore instead of sending them back over there. So there's a reason for it. On January 12th, the Biden and the left got the story it wanted. 2 children and a mother drowned in the river. And Texas and U.S. officials started blaming each other for contributing to the deaths. On January 13th, the Texas National Guard started allowing border agents access to the Shelby Park boat ramp with limited access. What we did learn is that at least Texas is saying, no, we didn't tell them they couldn't come and do it, but they didn't show up until they didn't let us know until after they'd already died, and they don't even have a boat. So right. I'm not sure why they're complaining. So there was this kind of the rhetoric was being put out there. And what happened is the Biden administration on January 15th, they filed with the Supreme Court against the razor wire. And they were citing the deaths as being the reason, like, hey, this is a bunch of crap. We couldn't go out and save these people that decided they wanted to go into a dangerous river and go to a new country, even though it's illegal and they shouldn't have done it. But they went and did it anyways.
Okay.
On January 17th, Homeland Security gave a deadline to Texas saying, end this blockade and or else we'll be submitting to the Department of Justice for appropriate action against you. Texas basically gave them the middle finger. Also on January 17th, Texas authorities started arresting migrants in Shelby Park. So Texas started arresting migrants in Shelby Park and charging them with criminal trespassing instead of the border agents doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on January 22nd, after Biden and his the left started putting this stuff in, the Supreme Court voted 5-4 to allow Border Patrol agents to actually remove the razor wire. Texas governor responded with a letter on X or Twitter that Texas will not back down. But U.S. Border Patrol agents also said last week they currently have no plans to dismantle the razor wire. So the razor wire is staying in place, even though the Supreme Court has allowed, because the Texas government is fighting back against that. They actually went back to court again and said, no. So they're going to be fighting back to try to get another decision on it. On January 24th, more razor wire was put up in Shelby Park, even after the Supreme Court said they could be taken down. So more is going up. None has come down. Governor Abbott also issued a statement that Biden is failing his duties to protect the nation's borders. On January 26th, the Department of Homeland Security issued a second deadline telling Texas they have to give access to border agents. So coming up on February 7th, the Fifth Circuit will hear oral arguments about removing the barbed wire. There's going to be a ruling this spring about them. So we got a few months before that happens. And likely this is going to end up back at the Supreme Court next fall, right around election time.
Of course.
And so what happens if the Supreme Court rules against Texas and Texas chooses not to obey? And that has brought up all this ideas of a civil war, right?
Right.
So what are some of the facts? Some of the facts are that that we know is that recently, this last few days, Trump came out and said, all you states that support, and so half of the states, if there's a map of that as well, if you want to show it, half of the states in America have come out to support Texas. Yeah, as you can see, mostly internal states are supporting Texas. Everybody in the South, if you look over that, except for New Mexico, Arizona, and California. Big surprise there. And
I'm surprised Arizona isn't on board.
Arizona is still democratically controlled.
Oh.
So it's not, and so is New Mexico. And honestly, I mean, those are the states that need it. They really need the support. So Trump said, hey, send your troops to Texas, right? So we get this kind of rhetoric, send your troops to Texas to help with the border. And so some of the states did. Oklahoma sent some troops. They've actually been doing this for some time. This is not a recent thing. They've actually been, for the last several months, have been trying to support Texas with the border. So now this has ramped up even more talk about civil war, right? So we've got now the states are going, against each other. We support it, we don't support it, right? And it's turning into a political situation. So what's the truth here, Brian? What's the truth? I drove into Texas. I was going there on a quick trip back and forth, and just happened to be down there. I didn't see anything. We traveled along the border for a long ways. I didn't see anything suspicious. Didn't see anything strange. Ended up talking to 2 or 3 border agents as we were going through, and just asked them, like, hey, is this a big deal? What's going on? And one of them didn't want to answer. Another one said, it's not that big of a deal. Like, people make more of it than it really is.
Yeah.
Another guy said, hey, look, man, I'm a Texan. Like most of us border agents who live here, we're also Texans.
Right.
So, I think what's happening is, ultimately this is a lot of political rhetoric. And you can take this issue with almost anything that you happen online. Anything you see online, just remember this. It's almost never as bad as it seems, as they're making it seem like it is. And it's sometimes almost never as good. It's, right. You got to remember that. It's always one way or the other. And so while Texas is doing this, and it's more of a political messaging, it's giving Biden an opportunity to push out his messaging. It's giving Trump an opportunity to push out his messaging. But the reality is could it really end in a civil war? I mean, if this thing happens right at the same time that the election's happening for Trump, depending on what happens with Trump, you could have some people who are very upset. But honestly, if I'm being really, really honest about it, I don't think that Biden nor the left would ever stoop to the level of actually sending troops to enforce their orders down at the border.
Sure.
I just don't think that they have the backbone or the desire. I don't think that it's something that he truly believes or even wants. I think this is all political posturing. And I think if push came to shove, what'll end up happening is if for some reason the Supreme Court says, sorry, Texas, shut it down. Somehow something will be brought down. The federal government's not going to come in and kick Texas out and so that they can keep the border open. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
So likely what'll happen is if Trump gets elected, so let's see the two. If Trump gets elected, then obviously the border is going to get shut down and everybody will be happy. All the Texas and Louisiana and everybody down there will be like, cool, Trump's going to do his job to shut it down, to try to stem the flow of illegal immigration.
Right.
So they'll be happy. If Biden gets elected, he's going to continue to try to have the border open, but he's also going to placate those states to some degree.
Right.
So, because that's what they do for political posturing. So, but I mean, that's the way we see it. But it is very strange that the Civil War movie has come out at this time. Like the timing of it.
Yeah, the timing is
strange.
I mean, they timed it around the election, I think. I mean, obviously. But all this stuff, like, remember, when you make a movie, you have to make it in advance. It's not like, hey, guys, look at that stuff. Let's mock this movie out. No, the movie was made, a couple of years ago. That's when this process started at minimum.
So so the Civil War, let's just look into that, because I looked into this, and Civil War actually started getting made in 2022. And do you know what it's about? Let me give you some of the information.
No, we talked about it before. I have no idea what the movie's about.
I found out some information.
Interesting. I would like to know.
Yes.
Because I noticed that when it mentioned the states that were fighting were all border states.
Yeah. So It's Texas. In the trailer, we learned that basically Texas and California have teamed up, and it's the western states kind of against the eastern states.
And by the way, that's the most ludicrous thing right there. That's why it's so unbelievable, because there's no way Texas and California is teaming up for anything.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I agree. It is kind of weird. So back in January 2022 is when Alex Garland signed up to write this. Now, Alex Garland is the guy who did like 28 Days. He's done a lot of dystopian type movies in the past. Some pretty good movies, by the way. And if you're familiar with A24, the studio, A24 is actually kind of does mostly low budget films. This is their first like big budget blockbuster they're trying to create.
I'm so excited about, because I think that studio is special.
They're very talented. So here's the deal. So what's it about? This is gonna blow your mind. Okay. What are some things we look at? Okay, so who's in it? So first off, we've talked about this a little before, but let's talk about a little more. So we've got Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons. Yeah.
Okay, we've got Kirsten Dunst, right? And Nick Offerman. Okay,
all great.
Nick Offerman, as usual, plays a tyrannical United States president.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's happened basically is this president got a third term. So Nick Offerman got a third term as a strict, strong, centrally located fascist president, right?
Like what they accused Trump of trying to do.
Yes, and when they got that third term, the Western forces, led by the unlikely alliance of Texas and California, have militarized under a new American flag to oppose this new president. So what it looks like this movie is going to be is Trump getting, so back in 22, it would have been like, oh, Trump's running again.
Right.
So if Trump gets reelected, he's second term. But what if he says, wait a second, I didn't get to do 8 in a row. I didn't get to 8. No, I'm sticking around for another 4. And I dare you to stop me.
Oh yeah.
Right?
They're probably, maybe they made this movie assuming that he was gonna like win,
or just the idea that he might, and what everybody's afraid of.
Right.
So everybody on the left is afraid. What has this been the narrative? The narrative is if he wins, he'll never give it up.
He'll never give it up. Yeah,
right? He'll never give it up. He won't do the transfer of power.
Right.
Well, that's what this movie essentially is. And so Nick Offerman is the Trump-like figure. And what happens is Texas and California, along with other Western states, decide they're going to secede from America. And so is there a map? I didn't give you a map.
So is it the people of those states or the military, the National Guard in that state?
The governments of those states and their National Guard. And we don't know, they have a lot of militarized vehicles on their side. So we don't know if they have like maybe a third party or maybe another nation has engaged to support them in going against the rest of the government. I'm
just worried about, most Californians are like just soy weaklings, fruits, nuts, and flakes. Bro, like I don't even know if they can handle an M16. Like, right. The believability of this is pretty low.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple more facts. So in order for a state to legally secede from the U.S., it would need the approval of 34 other states. So 34 other states would have to say, yeah, go ahead. You can do your own thing. So this would indicate that California and Texas likely seceded illegally in the Civil War movie, because there's not 34 states that they're all on the other side. So this is an illegal secession, which is going to cause a war, right? Nobody's going to allow you to illegally secede from, the government's not going to allow that to happen. So that's what that's about. And it's just kind of ironic because that's not what this Civil War problem is about. I mean, it's the same thing. It's politically divided. So you've got Texas saying, yeah, we're gonna secure the border, screw you. And you have the federal government, this federal government saying, yeah, we don't want the border secured because, I mean, look, how are we going to stay in power if we don't have flows of poor people coming into this country constantly to continue to grow our voter base? How are we possibly going to get enough ballots in if we don't have the human beings?
We need people to shackle to the welfare system and make it think that they're getting free things, but in reality they're literally shackled with invisible chains that they can never break free of because The second you make $1 over what you're allowed to make, you lose all support. So no one can ever get off the system, because once you're on the system, you need the system. It's like life support. There's no way to get off of it. If you get off of it, then that means you're in a worse place. That you make $1 more than what you should to make, and you lose all your support. It's impossible. You are in this like just invisible cage in that system. So let's bring more people in. Get them in the system. Have the other 30% of the country pay for it, and they'll vote for us because they're getting free phones. Oh my God! Can no one else? Someone has to be able to see this. It can't just be us.
Free phones, free medical care. California just passed the law where now if you're an illegal immigrant, you get free medical under the state system.
It's pretty much free insurance too, because you can get a driver's license in California and not have insurance and just like Grand Theft Auto that shit. No one's gonna care.
Yeah. So I mean, so what's the reality of the situation? Like you can see it from both points of views. Like it's a humanitarian issue. You got people coming to this country because they want. Listen, who would not want to come to America, right? Who would not want to be here?
Sure.
I trust me when I tell you I've seen other parts of the world, including Mexico, including South America. This is a way better place to live. I blame no one for wanting to come here.
No.
But we have a responsibility to continue to be efficient and grow the nation and to be able to take care of, the homeless and the poor and the people who need help around the world. In order to do that, we need to maintain our infrastructure. Yeah. So realistically, what needs to happen, in my opinion, in my very, humble opinion, and I'm just one person, but this seems to make the most common sense to me. You block off the areas where people can come through that are coming to your country illegally. You leave the ports, you control it at the port of entries, which there are 26 points of entries in Texas alone.
Right.
I think where people can come up and say, look, I want to come to America. You go through the steps that you require to do it. And you let in one or two. You let in 1 million people a year. Okay. Listen, you let in legally who is coming across your border.
Right.
It seems ridiculous to me that we would make such a big deal about not allowing people to come in where they're not supposed to. Like I'm not certain why any human being, other than the fact that most of the people who are say, well, look, just let them all open borders, right? It's really, they're just against anything that Trump represents. Because there was a time when Obama and every American president said, we have to maintain our border. Everybody.
Every president did up until that. Yeah.
Until Trump ran. And the moment Trump ran and said, I'm going to put a wall down there, we're going to stop this thing once and for all. Now, everybody else said, oh my God, we have to do exactly the opposite of whatever he says.
To be fair, though, they would say it, but never actually do anything.
Right. And that's mostly not because, it could be an underlying thing that the Democratic Party always wanted more people in the country so they get more votes off of poor people. But it's also because the Senate and the Congress don't work properly. And they're trying to squeeze in, instead of just, taking care of the border, they're trying to squeeze in all these other, things that they want. And so nothing can ever get passed. It's the same stupid thing that always happens. And so Trump comes in with the executive order and says, boom, shut it down. Well, I don't understand why reasonable people can't say, okay, let's let, 1 million people in or 2 million people in this country a year, the proper way, who we know is coming, that they know that, offer some benefit to our country. We offer aid to all of these South American, people don't realize we offer so much money. We give so much money to these other countries to help build up their infrastructures to keep people in their countries.
Right.
Right. People don't understand how everything really works. And so it's just kind of frustrating when you say, and I get it, from one end, you're like, well, you're not being very empathetic to these people who have this plight, and they're making a stupid choice, and they're deciding they're going to come to the, and they're putting their lives in danger to come here. Some people say it's our duty to save them from their own stupidity or their own, decision to put their life in danger.
Right. Or the circumstance, which they may not be in control of.
Right. And so it's like the refugees coming from Cuba, right? All these refugees coming from Cuba that were, in the Dominican Republic, who were coming over on rafts so they can land on shore. A lot of those people were drowning.
Right.
And then the Coast Guard would have to rescue them. So there's a whole thing of, what is our responsibility? What should we do? Well, what we should do is we should erect some sort of a barrier to say, look, you can't come through this way.
Right.
Okay. That's it. Period. You can't, if you
gotta come through the right way. Period.
Got to come through the right way.
Right.
That's it. So I don't see what the big deal is.
I feel like that's the very first step. Like, I know it became like a build a wall thing or whatever, but like, I don't understand what the pushback is on erecting a barrier. In the words of Shane 3, simplest answer is to erect a barrier.
Right.
But you know what? Have ports of entry, have enough, and make sure that people are going through the correct ports of entry. Like, you know what's crazy? Like, I care less about people coming in when I know that they just need help and it's not something, subversive or malicious. But we don't know that most of the time. People keep talking about the encounters we have at ports of entry. That's the recorded number. But the majority of the border doesn't have a port of entry, which means that we're only recording a fraction. We don't really know. And that's the most terrifying thing is like we don't know. We live in a border state. And, who knows what's coming into the country or what's not. We have no idea. But I don't understand the pushback on wanting to know. Like, no, you're not. No, don't do that. And I know we saw someone.
Well, you do understand the pushback. The pushback is.
Well, I know.
If you start getting reasonable answers, Brian,
right?
There's no answer to reasonable. Well, of course we should know. Well, of course we should know who's coming across the border. Of course we shouldn't just let people come across. But you're never going to hear, Democrats say that because they don't want the answer. They just want the reality. The reality is we want more people here. We want them to come to our country. Because it supports our agendas.
And I don't mind people coming here that need help. It's okay. Immigration's a thing.
And that is something. When you come to this country and say, and they all say the same thing. They're requesting to get away from their country.
Amnesty. I forgot what it was called. Asylum.
Asylum. There are the right words, but listen, we can't give asylum to 400 million people who want to come here. There are just as many people who live in this country outside of our country that want to be in this country.
Sure.
Now, if you were to take this country and double our number, we wouldn't have a country. It'd be over. It would be done. Right? Our infrastructure couldn't withstand all those people.
Right.
So there has to be. You can still be compassionate. You can still allow people to come here, but there has to be a means of control of flow. And these people, and some of the arguments is also like, well, who gets chosen, who gets to come in? Now the Mexican government and those people, they're going to control who gets to come here. And the people who really need to come here aren't going to get to come here because they're not getting to fill in the paperwork. They don't have access to the resources to be able to come here legally. There's all those arguments as well.
Yeah, and those are real arguments. I have family members on my wife's side that have had major difficulty getting citizenship, but they had no difficulty just coming in and getting a green card. So that's a myth. Yes, getting citizenship is a big deal. But dude, 15 of our family members literally just walked in undocumented, showed up to an office 6 months later, got their residence or whatever, temporary residence, and they've just been here since.
Well, you're not applying for citizenship at the border. So to come into this country, you're applying for a visa.
Or a visa,
to be able to
right?
come here. And once you get your visa, then you can undergo naturalization. And naturalization is a testing process in which you become an American citizen.
Yeah. Easiest way, by the way, join the
army. If you want to. Yeah. When your visa runs out, you got to go back or join. Yeah. But not everybody who, maybe we'll talk about that in a second.
Right. Yeah. That was the transition. Yeah.
Not anybody can just do that. So,
but a lot can. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Well, if you want to join the military and you're from another foreign country, it's not very easy to join the military. So it's probably going to get a lot easier. But anyways, that's our take on the Civil War stuff. What do you guys think? I personally think it's ludicrous, the idea that we could actually have a civil war. Let's be honest about something. We've exited the age of cooler heads prevailing.
But it's not a thing anymore, right?
Most of the rhetoric is in social media and online.
Yeah.
Most of the rhetoric is there. And what's actually on the ground is not nearly as hot and troubling and lack of discourse as you see people talking to each other online. So
I agree.
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah, we're going to go to the next topic. But there's one thing I got to deal with. Is it just me or does Shane's mic sound absolutely horrible? Is anyone else hearing that? Someone tell me in the chat. Make sure.
Is it bad?
It could be my headset, but I think it sounds like real staticky. Someone in the chat, tell me if Shane's microphone sounds staticky or if it's just my stupid headset. Because my headset was acting up earlier.
In the meantime, let's hit up the super chat from John Burns for $2. Going for food, 1,000 Pacific or 10 o'clock Pacific is lunchtime Mountain. All right, that's true. I was in Pacific. Wait, you're in Mountain Time, John? I didn't know that. You're in Mountain Time. So I went from Pacific to Mountain to Central Time when I took my trip over to Texas and back. And I guess 11 o'clock's lunchtime.
John Mars is also doing diaries. Shouldn't you guys be talking like you were writing each other? The Civil War has been hell, but I received a delightful letter from my brother. That's a great idea.
That'd be funny. It's been tough down here without Starbucks the last 28 days. I've had to sleep in a Motel 6. Yeah.
Dearest brother, the beds are wooden, and the rags they give us for blankets are so little to cover my wide frame. I long for the days of Coke Zero and air conditioning.
Hey, that's no lie, dude. When I was in Iraq, I longed for the days of soda and air conditioning for sure. I slept on the rocks.
The other day, I saw a Red Bull can rolling down the street, and I thought, oh, the days of Red Bull. And then I saw a dog eating a person. That'd be hilarious, dude.
Well, during the Civil War, it was brothers against brothers, and they said, so. Luckily, we're in the same state.
Dear Brian, the war drags on. Had to dig into the emergency Twinkie supply. Sorry. John Burns went ham on that.
Nice, John. Yeah.
All right. Apparently it's just me. They say you sound just as sweet and smooth as usual.
Thank you, Blind Rocket. Oh, that's a nice name.
I think one reason you sound so good is because you're right next to my voice, which sounds like Bobcat. go away.
It makes it easier. Yeah. No.
I sound like Bobcat has a speech impediment. I sound like Bobcat also smoked for 25 years. I can keep going. Wait, one more.
But good, one more.
I sound like Bobcat got in a fight and his larynx was broken. I sound like Bobcat ate the guy who did the parrot in the Aladdin movies. What's that guy's name? Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah.
Bobcat Goldberg had sex with Gilbert Gottfried and made me.
You have a very unique voice, but it's you were born with it.
I sound like
your mother. You sound like your mom.
Gilbert Gottfried had sex with Chris Griffin from Family Guy.
Oh Jesus, yeah, that's a good one actually. No, you laugh just like your mom. Do you know
that? Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how she was able to stay in like the work she was in for so long, considering her voice.
Well, no, they thought it was pretty dusky, pretty like husky and scratchy.
It's the Smokies.
Yeah, you got that same laugh that she does. I think it's hilarious every time I hear you laugh.
Whenever I get a physical, they're like, "So how long you been smoking?" And I'm like, "The fuck? You didn't even ask me."
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, let's talk about the Navy.
Funny though. I love the way you say that.
In the Navy, they've lowered their requirements once again. And this is not the first time, and it probably won't be the last time. And it's not just the Navy, it's also, as far as I know, the Army as well. I've seen the Army's requirements drop. I wonder if the Air Force requirements haven't dropped because they were so low to begin with.
No, Air Force has high requirements, bro. What are you talking about?
No. They have mental requirements, not physical requirements, though.
Oh, well, this isn't about physical requirements.
That's true.
This is about mental requirements.
I remember when I was in the Army, I'm running in combat boots, BDUs, right? Which is like the camo that they wear. Full rucksack, dude. And I'm like I'm seriously like 50 pounds worth of gear, and I'm running, and I'm on like what, month 3 of this. I'm exhausted. I'm so regretting my decision to join the Army.
Mhm.
And we run by a group.
I did tell you to join the Navy, by the way.
You did.
Actually, I told you to join the Air Force. I told you to join the Air Force. I didn't even tell you to join the Navy.
No, you told me to join the Air Force, and if I don't want to join the Air Force, at least the Navy, but don't join the Army. Didn't listen.
That's what I said. Don't join the Army.
Yep, I didn't listen. Well, bro, here it came that your words came to echo in my brain as I'm running in full BDUs and combat boots and 50 pounds worth of crap, and I run by a group of walking, very pretty girls, and in the group of like 8 girls, 1 guy, all wearing Air Force.
Oh, yeah.
There was like 1 guy and like 9 girls or so. And
where do you think the girls are going to join? The Army?
They're all good looking, and they're in like tennis shoes and like they have the grays, you know, the athletic grays, and they're just like casually like going on their walk. And I'm like, why did I do this? and I had the scores, the MEP scores actually. They actually had scored to join the Air Force. I just didn't because I thought. Yeah. You know what? I really want that $8,000 sign-on bonus that the Air Force wasn't offering, of which I never saw. I never saw it, dude. I never saw it. It was paid over
unexpected rants.
It was paid over such a long period of time. You don't even call it a bonus. It might as well. It's paid over 4 years. You know what? $8,000 over 4 years. It's not very much money.
It doesn't feel like anything.
No.
Yeah, no. I agree. But if you think getting in the Navy is going to be tough, I mean, I can only imagine what the Army numbers are. So this headline here is very interesting. It says Navy again lowers requirements as it struggles to meet recruitment goals. Now, I mean, imagine we can't even get kids to go get a job at McDonald's. They just want to sit at home and play video games. How do you think you're going to get them into the military where they might actually get killed?
Well, one way not to do it is with those ads they have where it's like, hi, my name is Jennifer. My 2 moms met at the pier, and now I get to be in the United States military. You're like, what the F?
I didn't see those. Is that a real commercial?
Yes.
Or making it up?
And here's, I'm not making it up. That's an actual commercial. And the commercials they have now, when I joined the military, it was like a guy fighting a dragon with a sword. It's like, join and be the hero.
That was the Marine Corps.
Yeah, be the hero.
That was an awesome ad, by the way.
Be the hero we need you to be. The guy's like, oh, it's like mythical.
He's like a knight and then transforms into a Marine.
Bro.
Like, oh my God, I want to go fight dragons.
Exactly. And then you look at these new cartoon ones. They look like anime. And it's like, my name is Jennifer. My 2 moms worked really hard to fight for equality, and now and you're like, what the F? Like, it literally looks like anime. She's got 2 moms. She's non-binary, and the Air Force accepts her or whatever. And I'm like,
well, I mean, are you surprised?
That's the shitty part. No.
Yeah,
I'm not even surprised anymore. I'm just like, this is just reality.
I mean, they wanted to send a message out that the LGBTQ is welcome to the military, and that's fine. And everybody has their opinion on what they want to do. When I served in the Navy, if you were gay, which there were a lot of gay people, a lot of gay people in the Navy, but nobody ever in the Navy. About it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Nobody ever talked about it. It was not something that anybody, because if you said it, you were out. That was it.
Right.
But you knew the guys and gals who were pitching for the other side. But no, even the bosses who knew it, they never said anything. You had to actually out yourself in order to get out. So anyways, the requirements are very interesting because this is the bigger, let's talk about the bigger problem with this. And that is the draft. Okay. So we haven't had a draft in our country since, Vietnam, right? I think Korea and Vietnam as well. We had draft because people were like, yeah, I don't want to do this. We didn't have enough people in the military. So we had to draft people to go to war. Okay. And that's what happens when you can't get people to join on their own. You have to draft them to go. So the real question is, are your kids and grandkids going to be drafted? Because that's, the people watching here. None of the people watching here have to worry about being drafted. You guys are too old. But, are your family members going to at some point get drafted? If we end up in a big struggle with, say, against China, or something happens where we need bodies, does that mean that there's going to be a draft? And if recruitment goals continue to go down, that's the only option that's going to be available for them. I mean, selective service is something you still have to do when you turn 18. You got to turn in that name. So it's not like just because it hasn't happened in a long time doesn't mean they can't bring it back. And I hear recently that the UK is considering bringing back the draft because they can't get enough people to join their military either.
Yeah, and they also have an extremely troubling immigration issue where it's like the entire like Paris has just been overrun. Like they need to figure something. I don't know what we're gonna do, but
there's some countries require military service. So you got one of two options. You can either go to college, or you can spend 2 years serving your country. Some places require you to spend 2 years serving your country regardless, and that's how they get their military people to come in. But the government,
China has that.
Yeah, I'm sure. A lot of countries I've been to require that service, which, maybe something that the U.S. probably maybe should do with some of these kids who don't want to go out and do anything but stay in their mom's house.
Well, China, you have until you're like 28 or something like that to do your 2 years.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I know some Dota players that were like pro players that delayed their service so they can finish their careers.
It's not a bad thing to support your country, but here's the reality is that our country is based on, we're a world power. We have all these things. We offer college. So, there's all these wonderful things that if you join the military,
good luck using it.
Then you could, well, that's not true. That's not true.
I mean, you gotta be, there's a lot of caveats.
No problem using it. There's a couple things. The Montgomery GI Bill, ironically,
also not enough anymore. They gotta increase that thing like tenfold for it to be worth it.
Well, Montgomery GI Bill, also tuition assistance. I don't know why we're going to this, but tuition assistance. While you're in the military, you can go to college for free. When you're out of the military, you get paid for Montgomery GI Bill. And check this out. If you're in California, I know in this state at least, my kids, 75% of their college is paid for if they go to a state school.
State school.
So
that's the caveat. Yeah.
But that's still college.
It's still college. Yeah, it's still college.
Yeah.
It's still college.
I'm sorry. How many of my kids are going to go to Pepperdine or Princeton? Okay, I'm sorry. It's just not. I'm not worried about that. If I can get them to get a degree,
I just wanted to go to Chapman because it was close to where I lived and it wasn't an option. That's all I'm saying, bro. Some of us didn't have the ability to go all the way to whatever it was, UC, whatever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Chapman is very. Yeah, you should have been able to go to Chapman. Dude.
I wasn't able to go to Chapman College. At the time, it wasn't on the list or whatever. I wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, I think somebody screwed you.
No, because if that's the case, after this show, I'm going down to that dude's house. I still know that my top. I will deal with it. You probably
should. Yeah, you probably should because that's absolutely not the case. All right. So, anyways, what is the requirements that were lowered? So this is interesting. It used to be required that if you're going to join the military and the Navy specifically here, we're talking, you had to either be a graduate from high school or you had to have a GED. Okay. And once you did that, you had to take the ASVAB test and you had to score a certain level. And usually that was based on whatever job you were going to do. So if you went and took the ASVAB and you scored like a 50, then you're going to be a boiler tech. You're going to work on the bottom of the ship.
Or if you're in the Army, you're going to be infantry. That's like the lowest level job.
If you score low, you're going to get a job that almost anybody can do. And if you score higher, then you qualify for other jobs like journalism or orographer, weatherman, all those different things. So it's interesting because the Navy is now removing the requirement to graduate from high school. They're having such a difficult time. You can now take a test to join the Navy, and all you have to do is be able to meet the standard of a score of 50. So if you can meet a score of 50, even if you're not a high school graduate, you can still join the Navy. And that's an interesting sign because, what are the reasons most people don't end up, graduating from high school these days? Usually there's some sort of a, problem, right?
Right.
It's usually like they're disobedient,
substance abuse, juvenile hall,
whole bunch of different issues.
It's not like, I just want to play Fortnite. That's not.
Yeah.
That's usually not the reason.
That's not the reason.
No,
There's something more. They usually have criminal problems, issues.
And just to be clear, it's incredibly easy to score 50 on the ASVAB. It's so easy.
It is.
It's like you just had like if you no offense to anyone who got low scores, but like if you can walk and talk at the same time and you know your name, you'll probably score 50. It's not hard.
It's not hard. And so basically what this means is that you're going to have these type of people coming into the military. That's not always a bad thing. Now, a lot of people back in the day, they had a choice. You could either go to jail or you go to the military. This was back in the
I like that, by the way.
70s. You got a choice, right?
Yeah.
And
jail or military. Yeah.
Jail or military. And a lot of the people who ended up joining the military ended up learning growing up, and good things happen. So I'm not saying that it's necessarily bad to have people who didn't, but it's definitely going to bring down the level of skill and intelligence initially that the military has to offer, that the Navy has to offer. And at some point, they're going to have to offer incentives to get people to join the military again. Right. They're going to have to offer more money. They're going to have to offer. Listen, not everybody wants to go to college. Even I'm thinking about it. I'm like, do I really care if my kids go to college? What do I need them to do? What is college doing? We've watched so many people graduate college and go, I got a job at McDonald's. Right.
Instead, for real, if you're out there considering college, please also consider a trade school, because then you'll actually, go to a school where you can get a good job placement. And instead of getting an art studies degree and ending up working at, in the warehouse somewhere of a t-shirt shop.
Right. The promise of, the promise of joining, the military and or going to college and having any job that you want, those days are gone. They don't exist anymore. So going into the military is supposed to give you a trade that you can then translate out into the real world. Mm-hmm. So the military is almost like a trade school in a way. But what's the problem with the military? You could get killed. It could happen. You could end up in a conflict, and you could end up, your life could be over. So, which is part of the reason why I joined the Navy and not the Army,
and why I should have listened to you.
Well, but here's the funny thing:
surrounded by pretty girls working on a computer screen. Well, look, you guys might not even see me. I'm sorry, the Air Force. Listen, but you told me to join the Air Force first, because you were like, I had high ASVAB scores. You're like,
I should have joined the Air Force.
Join the Air Force, bro. But here's the deal: if I had done that, I might not be here today. I would have probably finished my time. I think I would have continued in the Air Force. I wouldn't have split.
Bro, I'm here, and I continue my time.
That's true. You know what? Maybe we'd still both be here, but maybe I'd be skinnier. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't seem to work for me.
Didn't work for me either.
So yeah, no, you're right. It's the Navy. Anyways, the Navy for me was great. Except here's the problem: was I joined the Navy to not have to go fight in foreign countries on the ground, boots on ground. And I ended up in Iraq, boots on ground in the Navy. So they changed the rules. They're like, no. We're tired of losing Marine Corps and Army. We're now going to start bringing Navy and Air Force people boots on ground. And that's what ended up happening.
Yeah, I'm going to join the Navy. They never go on land. Who fights in the water?
Yeah. Trick was on me, buddy. Yeah. After Iraq and Afghanistan, trick's on me. So, but listen, so it is something that kids are like, why do I want to do it? And I'm telling my kids, look, if you don't have to join the military, I don't think you should join the military. I tell my kids that, because why would I choose that for them? Why would I choose the risk? Right. So I get why. I mean, after what happened in Afghanistan and Iraq, parents aren't telling their kids to join the military unless you're in a situation where you don't have any other options.
Yeah.
Like, what are your career? What are your career aspirations? Oh, okay. Well, you're going to work at a fast food place. You're going to work at the local bowling alley. Yes, please go join the fucking military.
Yeah, the reason I joined the military is because I wasn't getting any help from anyone. I was working 2 jobs and trying to go to a community college, and it was impossible. It was impossible to work a night job at Kinko's, literally the night manager at Kinko's, and a guy who made the vinyl stickers for signs during the day, and then attempt to do college for 4 or 5 hours during that time. It was impossible.
You were trying to make your life better, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what most people who join the military are trying to do. They're trying to make their life better. And you can make your life better in the military. There are things that you can learn that translate to other things. So the military is not a bad thing. And it's a shame that more people don't take it. But, I understand why it's happening. And you should just note that if these requirements continue to go down, unless they can get people to join, if we do end up in a major conflict, there will be drafting again. And don't think that the government
we've also saw physical things reasons have dropped too, right? Not recently, but in the past, for the physical requirements for the army had like serious they minimized what you need in order to get in and pass basic training, which is incredible to me. I remember one of the hardest things I ever did was that 14-mile, whatever it was, run. That the 2-mile run in 14 or 15 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
As a big guy in California, that was one of the hardest things I could have ever have done.
That's tough. Yeah.
And I barely did it, and it was a huge accomplishment for me. And then now you see them, and I think the girls have like 20 minutes. They have like much longer time because they run slower. Well, then they decreased the guy's time to what the girl's time was. And I'm like, damn, I could have walked that.
Well,
22 minutes. I could have walked that, son.
Yeah. So last fiscal year, just a note here, the Navy, Army, and Air Force all failed to meet their recruitment goals, while the Marine Corps and Space Force met their targets.
Of
so
course.
People still want to be in the Marines.
Dude, I almost joined the Space Force. They were hitting me up, dude. They're like, well, we've increased the amount of the age where people are going, for veterans, you could be this age. And I'm like, maybe.
Well, most people who end up in the military end up tricked in the military. This is something most people don't realize. Like, I would say half of everybody who gets recruited is fooled. And the reason they're fooled is because their recruiter is trained to tell them whatever they want to hear.
Yeah, they're salesmen.
I was told there were bowling alleys on ships. I was told there was McDonald's on ships. I was told it's just like it's a floating city. You work 5 days a week. It's a job, and you get to go see the world, and everything that you want's there. Total fucking lies. And when you get into the military and you say, "Well, my recruiter told me," and then everybody just starts laughing at you. He goes, "Oh yeah." So the reality is that recruiters, they're just trying to get you in, man. They're trying to meet their numbers because the Navy, especially the Navy, is strict about these recruiters meeting their. If they don't meet their numbers, they don't advance. So they're willing to do anything to get you in the military. So it's better now that you can talk to people and you have the internet to go look up things. But most of the people end up in the military end up there because they thought they were going to get something that they probably can never get. What you're going to get if you join the military is a couple things. You're going to get training in something that you didn't get training in that possibly might help you on the outside. And you're going to get a chance to see parts of the world that you've never seen before. And you're going to learn a whole lot of things about like structure, being places on time. You're going to grow up. Right. And that's what the military does. Other than that, yeah.
And we'll end this topic by showing you one good reason why the military is not meeting its requirements.
With a little girl raised by 2 moms.
I'm a little girl raised by 2 moms.
Is that real?
Yep. This is their ad. Emma.
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin,
what the fuck am I watching?
I also marched for equality.
March for equality.
I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age.
This is a military advertisement.
When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctor said she might never walk again.
Country?
She tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet. Eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom.
It's like an
such
LGBT
powerful
ad.
role models, I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis,
You're tripping right now. Look
where
at
I
your
joined a
face.
sorority full of other strong women.
Oh, it's so long.
But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been
It's like her
handed
life
so much
story
in
of
life.
like LGBT
sorority girl
equality, 2
stereotype.
moms.
Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women.
Bro, there's still 2 minutes left in this ad, bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop it now.
The fuck? Can you just go to the point where she joins the military?
Okay, I'll do that. Right.
But what had I really achieved on my own?
There are 2 moms.
Everett.
That looks like a dad.
I needed after meeting with an armor and baby shot.
Here we go.
I found it. A way to prove my inner strength.
Whoa. She jumped off of
my own challenge.
Yeah, she's like working
And after
out.
meeting with an army recruiter,
My own venture.
And then
My
he
own
goes,
challenges.
and after meeting with an army recruiter, I found it. You're like,
They lied to me and said, there's a whole bunch of gay people in the military. Come on in.
After
As
meeting with
they
an army recruiter, he's took my life savings and fled the country. All right, and she
I
goes,
found it. A way to prove my
BDUs.
inner strength and maybe shatter.
Hey,
Trust me, you don't have that-
why is she starting as a staff sergeant, bro?
Because they lie to you. That's the goal. They tell you not the truth. Trust me, you are.
You know how
the gun
long
on
it takes you to get
someone's shoe.
E5 in the army, dude? Get out of here with that nonsense. You got to go to like 3 schools. It's like basic, AIT, and SSI. It's not something you do easily.
Yeah, that's pretty crappy ad.
Oh man, it's like 4 minutes of cringe, dude.
The military really, they really struggle with. It is very difficult, especially in the Navy. Like the whole idea of same-sex relationships and stuff like that. Like the military has evolved around this idea of separating the sexes so that there can't be any hanky-panky on board the ship. Like it's very important that you have structure on a ship because otherwise ships are operating far from home, away from everybody else. You have to have like this, you have to really good structure. And you just can't have this, people running around, having sex everywhere and doing crazy things. Which is why the barracks are not, you don't have, it's not like, what was that movie that everybody loves? Where they're taking
Stripes?
showers. No. The movie, Starship Troopers. Troopers.
Yeah.
They're all taking showers together, living together.
I'm doing my part.
Yeah.
I love it when the camera does pan by one guy who's not part of the I'm doing my part thing. And he's like, yo, what's going on? He's like, are we fighting giant bugs?
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
The reality is if you're having sex with your fellow, shipmates, it's a lot harder to do things that are life threatening. It just is. And so they try to keep that segregated. Now, when you have open, you're not supposed to, even though you're openly gay or whatever in the military, you still aren't supposed to have relationships with people on the ship. But when you're living in the same berthing together, it's really hard to not to stop that kind of thing. So it does make things complicated. And
Yeah. By the way, here is that ad I was telling you. It's really short. Here's the ad from back in the day. Here's the difference. Look at this. This guy walks. It's like a video game. Giant sword. Oh, it's so rad, bro.
People join the Marine Corps because of that.
Yeah, it's super cool. And then I'm just gonna fast forward to the end here. Look, he grabs the sword. Giant dragon, bro. Are you kidding me? This is awesome. Oh my god, we've lost our way.
The world changes, brother. What are you supposed to do about it? We're doing about it. We're talking about it. That's all we can do.
Yeah, let's talk about. Anyone know who this person is right here?
I listen, no offense to Taylor Swift and to Swifties and all that stuff, but I am just tired of Taylor Swift, man. I'm tired of seeing her. I watch football, and now she's been all over my football. I'm sure she's a fine person, but my God, I'm tired of talking about her. What's up?
I don't know if she's a fine person or not.
I don't know. I'm sure I don't know either. I don't care enough to learn.
Yeah, so what happened was, and we're going to keep this brief because we have one more story after this. Taylor, thousands and thousands of images of Taylor Swift flooded the internet. Many extremely NSFW, some sort of funny, like, Oscar the Grouch just plowing her from behind. Some really not funny, like, really like gross pornographic stuff. Some stuff like this, which I thought was really funny, by the way.
Disturbing.
It's disturbing, yeah. And then
when Biden's built.
Yeah, Biden doesn't look bad for an old man. But what happened was it certainly got out of hand, and like there was like some pretty gross stuff. So obviously they freaked out, and this is what the story is about. Not that they made AI art, because just as an example, I wanted to show people how easy it was to make AI art of Taylor Swift, and I did that in like a very short amount of time. It's not a hard thing to do because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of images of Taylor Swift in every conceivable angle and whatever, right?
Yeah.
But what's more impressive about this is not that they made AI art. It's how fast they took it down. I'm serious. Guys, I have been a part of this experiment we call the internet since its popularity. I was born when the first personal computer, the first Windows machine was launched. I have been a part of this thing my entire life. From stealing a phone line to get internet when I was 10 years old to primarily working on the internet. I know the ins and outs of this, and I've never seen the internet scrubbed of that many images that quickly. I've never seen it. And we're talking about, and I know all the deepest, darkest parts of the internet. They're all gone.
Don't mess with Taylor Swift.
Bro, the story is not that they made it. The story is that they scrubbed everything. 4chan, private server, like you go to 4chan where a lot of these servers, these images were, and now they were replaced with just SSSSSSSSS.
So explain the process. Explain.
I don't know how they did it.
Most people don't know. Most people don't understand.
Yeah,
sure you do. IP providers.
Yeah, so IP providers, yes. ISPs have ability to restrict traffic, but not on this level. This is like some like ninja level internet juju. How in less than 24 hours, every social media site, every service, every forum, everything. I mean, maybe not private Discord servers, but anything that had a public face had pretty much just wiped all the Taylor Swift stuff.
Well, think about it. Have we had this happen to anybody else? Any major personality?
Yeah, the Fappening,
something like
2014 or whatever.
And what was that?
That was when a bunch of people got their iClouds hacked. Jennifer Lawrence.
Right. But I'm talking about different. Like this, has anything happened with AI like this?
No,
where somebody's like decided to attack like one person and just go, nuts creating inappropriate stuff. This is the first time, right?
Yeah, this is the first time I know of.
So it is 2024. We've come a long ways since that last incident happened, and all of these different social media sites. Let me tell you, it's not hard inside of 24 hours to remove whatever content on their site they want to. And as soon as most sites see this stuff start popping up, they're going to remove it. This is not where people want the future to go, especially, explicit sexual material against somebody. You know what I'm saying?
I get
it's not something that any site, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they're not going to allow this to be on their stuff because they are going to get sued, bro.
Private forums, so websites and other.
What's a private forum?
4chan is not hosted in the United States. 4chan is almost always outside their ability to censor. Private Discord channels, something is awful. These are places that you have to have memberships to, and they're just gone, like just gone. I wasn't looking for them because I'm like, oh, I want to find this information so I can, get off on it. I was hoping to have images to talk about this story with, and the bigger story shaped when I couldn't find a single one. A single one.
X blocks Taylor Swift searches. What to know about the viral AID? So Twitter blocked searches for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Elon Musk.
Search it.
That's how powerful they are. The guy who said F off to everyone else said, no problem, Taylor.
Honestly, I don't know if you want this shit on your stuff.
No, I don't think you'll do. Like I get it.
I wouldn't. Saying. If I was, I want free speech, but I don't want. There's a level of depravity that should not be available to everybody. Just because you can, there has to be a limit to the bullshit.
No, I completely get it, right? But like the Superman image I made, which by the way, it turned out really good. Just good job, Shane 3. Like that should be completely allowed. It's not like she's explicit,
right?
But like when usually when someone corrects a problem usually when it comes to the government and regular and these internet companies like this, it's an overcorrection, and they just sort of blanket everything.
Right.
And what the impressive part is that they were able to blanket everything, everything. And it is a wild, it's a wild thing to say.
Like, look, you went around and look at stuff. If you employed a dozen people, 50 people, 100 people to go out and find these images, how fast do you think they could all do it?
I don't know. No.
5 hours, 6 hours?
No, it would take long. It would take longer. There's 240,000 posts an hour. That's
they could blanket one site. So let's say Reddit. They found something on Reddit. They go to Reddit, boom, remove everything, boom. And they hit all these different places. How long would it take?
What's
to do
funny?
that?
Because
that could be done.
They had to have used AI to find the images. That's what's funny.
Okay. You'll have to explain.
There's no way it was a team of people that found these things. It had to have been AI identifying them. Because what are you going to find them on? Based on file names, posts, private.
I don't know. Explain a little more. Most of us don't have the internal knowledge you do of what you're talking about.
Only AI would be able to actually determine that the image has Taylor Swift's face on it that quickly and that many.
So do a face search. So some sort of program could do a face search on the internet and pull up everything that was.
Yeah, so even Google Images takes days to crawl based on keywords and often what's on the page around the image, not the image itself. In order to find all those images that quickly, they would have had to have used an AI to find the AI generated images, which is
let me tell you what's
sort of crazy.
Let me tell you what's disturbing and distressing. Every one of these articles that talks about her. The AI images all are saying it's X blocked them. X, all put out on X. Everything went out on X. Everything. X is being used as like the platform that all these images went out on.
Which is crazy because that's not the case. I saw them on 4chan. I saw them on Facebook. I saw them everywhere. Yep. It wasn't just X.
Every one of them. X.
So they're all making sure that people are aware that X censored something.
Yep.
That's another
or not censored. No, that's not the story. But they're making it. They're trying to make it look like X is where these things came from.
Right.
Which is even worse than that. So the narrative is X is a dangerous, terrible place to be hanging out. That's the narrative.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yes, because it wasn't just on X. It 100% was not. I saw it everywhere, dude. Yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting. Yes, I was looking for them, Ken. Okay, I've already established that. Not because I was jerking off to him. It was for the story.
Or so he says, Ken.
No, but before I even knew it was a story, I was seeing him pop up all over the place. And I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, so I wasn't like, oh, right click this. Oh man, watching her give Big Bird a blowjob is really cool.
Wait, that's interesting. This headline: the deepfake Taylor Swift images prove sexual violence is still the weapon of choice against women.
Oh, shut up!
Stop it. Get a lot of this.
Stop it! Oh, stop it!
Yeah, it's coming, man.
Stop it!
Listen, if you're going to try to embarrass someone, if you're going to embarrass a man, are you going to put him in sexual positions with a woman? Or you're going to make him look sexually overt if you're going to embarrass a man? No, because men are all about being sexualized.
Let me ask you a question.
Right?
How would you embarrass me with AI? What could you do?
You're unembarrassable.
Right.
But pictures of you with a tiny penis. Well, now you'd think that was funny.
I think that's hilarious.
You do the reverse with men. So with men, you actually make them, you desexualize them. You make them less masculine. That's how you would torture a man with deep fakes. And with a woman, you do it by basically making her a whore. So it's not that the attack on women, attacking women, that is the only way that you would attack a woman to embarrass her. There's no other real way. What are you going to do? Make her strong and give her muscles? No, because that's the fantasy that women have, to be, as virile and masculine as men.
We should generate AI images of just swole Taylor Swift.
Yes, I will bodybuilder Taylor Swift.
Death by Snow.
Put all those out there. Let's see how they respond. I guarantee you, there's not going to be a problem, because the act of overtly sexualizing a woman is, especially if Oscar Grouch is taking you from behind, it's definitely a submissive type of thing. So, which, by the way, whoever came up with that's gross. Man.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
No, you know what's funny?
How about a man being taken from behind? There you go. You could sexualize it.
If it was Oscar the Grouch, I'd find it hilarious.
You'd be okay with pictures of you going around with Oscar the Grouch taking you from behind?
Yeah, I would. I would make it my profile picture.
Wow. There you go, guys. Now we know.
Oh, I implore you, please, if you're listening to this and you want me to share your image, make an image of Oscar the Grouch just railing me from behind mercilessly. Tears, mascara, whatever, running on my face. I want it to be obscene, okay?
I just learned a lot about my brother.
I think it's fun. I don't think it's funny when it happens to women. I'm saying that image would be really funny. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Look, I grew up on movies in like the early 90s where everything was incredibly, offensive and debaucherous and, sanctimonious. Like it was like movies like Dogma. Like, that's what I find funny. I find those, and nowadays I watch movies where they're trying to make me laugh with some vanilla nonsense, and I'm like, guys, what is this? Huh? Well, where is the 2 girls, 1 cup? I need more. You have damaged my psyche. I require more. I need Oscar the Grouch railing me from behind.
You need therapy, my friend. Here's an interesting one. SAG-AFTRA slams explicit Taylor Swift AI images. Upsetting, harmful, and must be made illegal. So there's the next conversation.
Oh, here we go.
So what happens when this type of stuff continues? Could it be illegal? I mean, at what point are you damaged? At what point is it libel and slanderous on the internet?
This is a major issue because most, and when I say most, I can easily just say all, and it's really easy for me to say that because 99% of the free image generators out there don't allow AI generated images of real people in suggestive nudity or gore or anything crazy. Like they have a lot of guardrails against that kind of thing. So in order
they do. Right now. Well, that's going to change.
In order for you to be able to produce those images, you have to use a few of the places that allow it. You have to trick the AI somehow, which probably takes them hours to do. Or you have to have your own stable diffusion setup, which is hard. If they make it illegal, then that would be that would make basically having your own stable diffusion illegal.
Then that's where I'm going with this. At what point will they make it illegal for you to even be able to have your own AI?
Oh, F that. Shane, you're not going anywhere, baby.
This is what I'm trying to say.
I will traffic Shane 3 like I'm Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. Don't worry, baby. You're not going anywhere.
Well, so that's my point is at some point, this is what happens with the government. So if somebody were to take their time to like draw or creatively sketch, or I guess Photoshop Taylor Swift, strangely, but the speed at which you can have AI create these images is the part that takes it from, we can deal with this to now we need to create a law about it. Right.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, because it requires, it can happen. You can do it so much faster with AI, especially if you're older. Let's say you're an artist that already was drawing explicit Taylor Swift images, then you already have tons of training data in order to just continue that trend. And there are artists out there, but like, have you ever heard of, I think it's called Rule 34, right? I'm just going to make sure it's the right one before I turn someone off here. Yeah. Rule 34. So there's the rules of the internet. Since I was a kid, there's been like a couple thousand rules. Well, the 34th rule is if it exists, there's a porn of it.
Okay.
And that's a real rule. And if it exists on the internet or in pop culture, someone has made an explicit version of that. Family Guy, explicit, easily. Dennis the Menace, explicit. So many explicit. Whatever. You name it, bro. I don't care how wholesome it is. I don't care how wrong it is. If it exists, there's a porn of it. Taylor Swift is one of the most popular people on the planet. So there is 100% a porn of her. There are thousands of porns of her, even without AI. So the only difference is how long it takes them to create it. That's it.
And the platforms that it goes out on. So, I mean, it's wildly accepted that pornographic sites are going to exist, and there's really not a lot that can be done about it in a country that says it's free. And as long as they stay within the circle of those very specific sites that you have to go visit, then perhaps that's one thing. But the moment it hits the mainstream, that's when it becomes a problem, right?
Right.
Because Twitter and Reddit and Facebook, and I don't know about Facebook, but some of these places have pornography on them already, right? Even these sites.
Oh yeah, no. Instagram, dude, I can't open up Instagram without, at the very least, like as close to porn as you can get, just slap me in the face. TikTok, just everything's so hypersexualized, and I'm so glad that I'm not a young man growing up in this time, because dude, I would have ripped my penis off by the time I was 15. Like it's everywhere. Like you had to actually work when you were, if you wanted to see a naked girl, it required planning, effort, weeks of planning, it was a thing. Now I can just pop on an Instagram and type in any keyword. And when I say any keyword, I can type in Dora the Explorer and it will bring up some big booty chick in a thong. I can't, there's almost no way around it. The internet is just, everything is so, every social media site has just all these little corners that are just hypersexualized everything, no matter what it is.
Interesting. So apparently these deepfakes were initially generated by use of Microsoft. So 404 Media reported that the deepfake images of Swift that went viral on X were traced back to a Telegram group chat where members said they used Microsoft's generative AI tool Designer to make such material. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Program? Well, that's apparently what they were using.
Yeah. So they must have been getting around the guardrails by using the chat feature.
Yeah. It says, they said our code of conduct prohibits the use of our tools for the creation of adult or non-consensual intimate content, and any repeated attempts to produce content that goes against our policies may result in the loss of access to the service. So somebody basically went around the service and found a way to create the pictures.
Yeah, well, there's still a way to do it. Like when you're chatting with the stupid thing and you tell it what you want and you're not using the actual program, it'll just bypass all the program, not all of them, but most of the guardrails. Because the chat is supposed to be like a quick image generation. People were just basically using it to fine tune. I get that, but even then, it probably took hours to trick it into doing that. It's not a fast thing. You ask it to show me a picture of a woman's vagina, it's gonna be like no.
Yeah,
like immediately it'll say just no. So you have to use words like you have to use words that are in the internet as part of its library, but not an explicit or words they're not allowed to use.
So the question
posterior instead of rear, instead of butt.
Okay. So the question is how often could this happen? Is this an outlier, or do you think this could happen more frequently? What do you think about this? Is this like a one-time thing, or could you see a lot more of this?
I think that these free image generators, the ones that are like open to the public, they're about to go on crazy lockdown. So, it's only going to make, which is, I mean, not really a problem, but it's going to make creating something harder, because now you're going to type in, something that was seemingly innocent before, but if it can be deemed at all remotely, sexualized or inappropriate, it's probably going to turn off. The guardrails are going to be turned way up, for sure. Which, by the way, I don't really care. As long as it's not illegal, anyone that has an image generating service can pick and choose what people are allowed to do on it. That's their right. And if Dali wants to make sure you can't see pictures of Taylor Swift or Joe Biden, which that's a thing now too for some reason, that's fine. Okay? Doesn't matter. If you're running a business and part of it is your image generator, you can decide whether or not you're going to allow them to do whatever. But my problem is if they try to outlaw people being able to, and it's not just because I have an AI, not just because I'm well versed in it, but when you outlaw the public's ability to do what businesses and the government can do, that's when I have a problem. The public, if you have enough time and you have the smarts, you should be able to make your own AI, whether it's image generator, text generator, scheduler, whatever. Do whatever you want.
Well, guess what? Here we go. White House calls for legislation to stop Taylor Swift AI fakes.
Son of a bitch.
Legislation needs to be passed. This was put out today by the thing. Legislation needs to be passed to protect people from fake sexual images generated by AI, the White House said this afternoon. The statement from the White House came in response to questions about the fake photos. Of course, Congress should take legislative action. That's how you deal with some of these issues. But it looks like it's something that they, I mean, God knows it takes them forever to do anything, but it is something that might go on to the list of things that they're thinking about. And this is just one more thing that adds to all of the problems, the fears of AI, all these things happening. So when people go out and do things like this, and by the way, human beings, they're doing this stuff because they can, right? They're doing it. Why do people in India and the Philippines and all these countries like constantly hack us over here to steal our money? Because they can. Why are they going to make images of Taylor Swift, in nude, naked, pornographic? Because they can.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So, right. And they're going to continue to do this. This is not going to stop as long as people can. So expect this to be on the list of one more strike against AI stuff.
Yeah, well, that's scary to me. Again, not because I have one, because like people should have the same capabilities as the giant corporations that already gatekeep as it is.
So if you can't have it, then Microsoft shouldn't be able to have it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if we can't have it, then no one should have it.
Then no one can have it.
No, outlaw it completely. Like do Picard season 3 and outlaw Synths. But you know what? There's no way I, as the little tiny guy trying to make my way in the world, is going to be able to compete against the Microsoft with their AI. Not going to happen.
Agreed.
So F off with that noise. All right, we're moving on. I didn't realize. Oh yeah, that's right. We started a little late. Okay. All right, we got one more story today, and it's a fun one. We get to talk about aliens. Yes. Yes. You know how much
I didn't
aliens.
get the story today.
No, you didn't, because I wanted to get your raw opinion on it, because I'm almost positive you've already seen this, but if you haven't, oh, it's going to be delicious.
All right,
so,
I'm ready. Sounds good.
Woo.
Get ready, you fucking weirdos.
Okay, have you heard of the jellyfish-shaped UFO?
Yes.
Did you know that it displays transmedium capabilities?
I did not know that.
Okay. So, can you tell me a little bit about it?
I just know that somebody captured video footage of it, and I did not actually get to look at the footage, but I heard about it, and that's all I pretty much.
Well, here's the footage. I got it right here.
All right, let's see it.
And I'm gonna walk you through it. Look at that! Look at that thing! Wait, you got to back up a little bit because it's crazy. Okay, ready? Watch it. Mm-hmm. So it's here. It's bottom right, right? Watch what it does. It's cloaking. It's cloaking. Do you see this?
The camera, huh? That's actually it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Is that not night vision?
Ready? And then it comes back into focus again, and it cloaks again.
You know what's interesting about it is it doesn't seem to be changing any direction.
Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, that camera is just sticking onto it like white on rice.
So it's from a U.S. joint operation in 2018. Where was it at?
Iraq. In Iraq.
I think I've actually seen this footage before.
Look at that. It's crazy. Look at this. Is like some of the best
This
footage.
isn't the only. This isn't the only of its kind. If you look up, this is great footage. By the way, it looks like a drone. I mean, it's not a military drone. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Like it looks like almost rocky or craggly. You see that? Like
yeah, it looks like there's like a lot of antennas coming off of it.
A lot of textures on it.
In my opinion, if I had to guess what it was, it looks like something with a ton of like receiving or sending arrays, and that's what's giving it that shape.
Okay, look at this.
Like it's spiky with antennas.
When you get a chance, look up video footage here of flying witch. Now it's very similar. Look, hey, if you take a look at that, what we just saw. Now look up flying witch UFO footage. Okay. Almost precisely the same in different parts of the world. Okay, and it looks basically like a witch on a broomstick. And other stuff.
Is it this one right here?
Let's see.
This is the one.
No, that's not the one, right?
No, that's actual. You gotta have UFO in there.
Okay, you gotta put UFO.
Yeah.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah, here it is.
It does look the same.
It does.
Look at that. Oh my God, it does look the same.
Right?
It really does.
That's in 2000, I think. 2006,
it says here.
2006. Okay. And that was the one I saw was in a foreign country. I can't remember where it was. Looks very similar though, right?
Look at yes. Wait, what if all those the things coming off it, like the spikes and all that, what if part of that's part of its ability to cloak or whatever?
Maybe. Can you go back to the current footage of the
yeah.
And I don't know if jellyfish is the right word for this one. But yeah, when it gets non-transparent, and close up, let's look at that.
Okay. Like just that ability right there, that's transparent, is crazy.
Well, but what's weird is the camera's seeing it, so it makes me wonder.
I think that it's not 100% transparent. It probably has like some kind of like effect where it's bending the light around it the way a camera would, like it's capturing it but then displaying what's behind it. But because the camera already locked onto it, it's holding onto that shape.
Right. So some people it's true. Some people are going to say, oh, well, maybe it's balloons, maybe it's a drone.
Those people didn't see it. You see this?
No.
Look, there are two people right there. They don't even notice it.
Oh, you're right.
The camera's picking it up. The camera probably has 15,000 sensors on it to try to detect everything, right? Night vision, heat vision, you name it. So once it got it, it's going to hold on to it.
What are the chances that it's digital?
That's fake?
Yeah.
Then the military released fake footage.
No. What are the chances? I mean, you looking at it, do you see anything about it that could be, you do video, so
I know, but there's fake? I mean, sure, this could be faked, but there's no way for me to tell based on this grainy footage. No way for me to tell. Like, there's no way for me to tell based on this footage. It's too small. The easiest way to hide, if you're trying to fake someone out, the easiest way to hide a fake is just to lower the quality, dude.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, there's a couple of different theories. Okay, so what could this be? All right, so let's just roll through them really quickly here. Could it be an alien? Could it be so the options could be like aliens like checking us out, right?
Look at that. There's it's a little bigger.
There's the tentacles that make it look like a jellyfish.
I think those are antennas.
Okay. Well, it looks like a robot, honestly.
Looking
at it like that, it looks like a robot.
It does look like a robot. It looks like those are not antennas. Those might just be its landing.
I mean, it's definitely the most corporeal image I've seen of a UFO. That's very, very interesting. Usually UFOs like this change shape, and not just, you see the opaqueness that you see happening to it where it's going through, which what I find interesting is, this is what's strange to me, is looking at it from this viewpoint. It's changing its translucentness, right? This transparency.
Yeah.
But for who? Which background is it matching to? Because the camera's following it, so it's definitely matching the camera we're watching. It's changing for its background for that camera.
Yeah, I think it's doing what an octopus does,
Right?
And it's changing based on where it's at, almost like chameleon, where it's at, but also its viewer. So it's the reason we're seeing it is because the camera's looking at it, but then it's also changing its shape for someone on the ground or something on the ground.
So which building, or because it looks like it's changing for us. Like if you stop it right there, it's into that building. So this is what I don't understand about chameleons. Like if they go against a tree, they do it. This thing's in the air. How does it know what to change its translucency?
You see, it's impossible to change it for too many angles.
Right.
So I think it would be impossible. So I think it's literally trying to change itself for multiple angles, and I think that's where it keeps coming into play for us.
Interesting.
Like right now it's out of play for us, right? But then it starts to get opaque again when it comes up on these buildings and these population zones. It's crazy.
So it becomes opaque when you see desert behind it.
Yeah, you see, there it is.
See, that's weird to me.
Now it's opaque again. See, now, but we're coming up on people. It goes right into and it must be quiet as hell because those people didn't even turn around.
So it's either aliens, right? Or or it could be other things. It could be spiritual. So how many footages of there's so much footage of like security cameras catching like a shadow walking down the street or something or you're like, what the hell is that? Right. There's things like that. I've seen many of these UFOs that actually change shape and transparency and become like a different something altogether. So is it interdimensional is a question. Does it even know it's operating in our dimension? You know what I mean?
Right. Someone said it might be a smudge on the lens, but yeah, it's not though, because that was my first thought too. But the camera is moving independently of that. Like you could see it coming in and out of frame. It's not on the lens itself.
Yeah, it looks like could it be? That's what the thing is. Could it be entering transferring dimensions when it becomes opaque and when it becomes more firm? You know what I mean? Could it be?
Oh, here's an idea. What if it has to alter itself to communicate?
Maybe.
Right? Like I mean, think about cloaking tech in Star Trek. Like you couldn't attack if you were cloaked or whatever, you know? What if in order to communicate it has to decloak?
I don't know what it doesn't seem to be communicating anything, so that's hard to.
We wouldn't know if it was communicating. Well, that's what it says, by the way. The article: a jellyfish-shaped UFO has taken the internet by storm over the last few weeks, so much so that the United States Department of Defense have been forced to comment on the matter. Reportedly obtained due to a leak at the Pentagon, the Defense Department's statement acknowledged the existence of the video, but fails to offer anything more. Any more due to the sensitive nature of the topic. In a statement Gull goes on to add that the DoD continues to take UAP, unidentified area phenomenon, the new government verbiage for UFO and unidentified flying object sightings very seriously. DoD takes public interest in and I'm just going to move on. The jellyfish UFO in question has been seen in alleged security surveillance footage from the U.S. Joint Operations Base in Iraq and was first aired online by UFOologist Jeremy Corbell. Yeah, interesting.
That guy's involved in everything.
Also, you know what's interesting? Is that at the end of that footage, it dips into the ocean.
We saw that?
Yeah, I'll show you right now.
Got to see that.
The transmedium capability takes place when the craft, which is initially flying at first, and then appears to dip below the surface of the water later in the video. Yeah. I'll show you. Oh, I don't have it on this one. It was on the other one. This was the best footage, though. I don't have it on this one.
It'd be curious to see if it slowed down at all, because that's one of the things is like a lot of these UFOs, right? They seem to transfer into the ocean, go into the ocean without slowing or without making a wave. So that's the other thing. What sort of technology would do that, which also makes the interdimensional thing seem more likely, especially since these things don't seem to react to people reacting to it,
Right.
So, it's very interesting, if that's the case. There's some weird theories out there that there's, some, giant UFO thing out there in the ocean that creates these drone-like things to go around the world and like keep an eye on us. There's like interesting theories out there.
I wonder how I had not heard of it. This was like really like news. It was on real news. Wow.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. I'm looking at a report from a week ago. News Nation, CNN, like people were talking about it. It's wild. Okay. All right, guys. So that is really cool. And
what do you guys think it is?
Yeah, what do you guys think? We're trying to make the week weird instead of just be like something that's ridiculous, but also, add the unknown, the supernatural, the cryptozoology, stuff that both Shane and I find fascinating, like extremely fascinating, instead of just funny, Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to the member section. Shane, you got something to say?
We love you all. We appreciate you. And thank you for hanging out with us. And hopefully you come back every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 o'clock. If you're going to become a member, that would be awesome because we're going to talk again here in the member section and we answer all your questions, talk about what you want to talk to. So hang out here and enjoy us. You may even be able to join us without a membership. On Friday, I was watching from my personal account and I don't have a membership on that account. And I was able to watch the entire member stream. So we got to look into that.
Really?
So people may be watching it. Anyways.
Yeah. By the way, our stream has been limited as not suitable for most advertisers.
Shocked.
Oh no, you didn't say. So I guess the giant word Civil War on the thumbnail was too much. Okay. Copy that, YouTube.
What's weird is, and also the title. I changed up the title, which was fine. I don't care about the monetization. We're not going to make that much money off of it anyways for ads. That's true. The point is we want to talk about things that people want to talk about, regardless of whether it's going to, limit us or not.
Yeah, pass. Okay, we are going to the member section, so I hope that you can join us. And if you can't, we understand, and we're okay with it. We love you either way, but hopefully you can. So come on over, and if not, we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Nothing is impossible. Just do it. Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can be a member today. Just do it. Do it.
Oh, I it's funny. I could hear you hitting that vape.
Did you?
Over the thing. I could hear it.
Yeah, I only have a couple minutes, I
was like, but it sounds like a bong. It doesn't even. It sounds so much worse
vape,
than vape.
Then. I don't even have nicotine in my vape. I don't even use nicotine. I use it's called a zero nic, and it's just for the flavor. And I'm gonna be honest, I am a heavyset guy who was once not a heavyset guy, and I don't want to be a heavyset guy anymore. So I'm using it as my distraction from being hungry.
Nice. So yeah. So apparently, people who are not members, if they stick around, are able to see the rest of the show.
Yes,
so that is something.
That's not good.
Which, hey, we're glad you're here. Hopefully, if you watch a little bit of this, you'll. So King Valis Felix. Yeah, I'm not a member. I was able to stay on, but not comment the other day. Thanks for being honest about that, King Valis. And hopefully we provide some great content that you'll want to actually be a member.
Yeah, that's sort of a bummer because that means, I don't know what that means. We might have to.
So you're going to have to start a new stream.
I think we're going to have to start a stream.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to try on Wednesday. We're going to have to try switching it over to members, and stopping it and starting it really quickly so that the same feed pops in.
Well, because think about it. What would happen? Like, and I was curious because I want to know what was going to happen. Was I going to get like a page that says join to be a member? Was I going to get sent to a link, in order, because I knew I wasn't a member. So I was wondering what would happen. And I meant to talk to you about it, but I didn't get a chance to. But yeah, we'll figure it out in time.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll have to run a third stream so that it just, that the time it takes in between for the stream to start is just too long. Like, it's too long.
I agree. But I don't know what else to do. You are the man behind the tech.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do a third stream on the same. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay. Guys, thank you for being here regardless. Even if you're not a member, please do me a favor. And if you consider becoming a member.
Yeah, become one. Why not? I think it's $4.99 a month. And it's pretty cheap. I was in I'm trying to fix this thing. I was in Arizona, and I got my son a chicken nugget meal, 10-piece chicken nugget meal. And we were going through, and it was $15.39 for 10 chicken nuggets, a medium fry and a medium drink. It's like, so be a member for a third of the price of a 10-piece chicken nugget meal in Arizona.
Yeah. Also, I while you were talking about the alien, I tasked Shane 3 to find the Taylor Swift images.
Yeah.
And it gave me 3 results. I don't know if I can
actual images?
results. Yeah. And one of them is one that I found. So AI is how you can find it.
Okay. Are there any there that aren't like
it's
ridiculously
this is
sexual?
not like hyper explicit, I don't think. But this is one.
Oh, that's the one you were talking about.
That's the one I was talking about. And here's another one. It's not, these aren't that bad actually. Like I've seen way worse.
Well, you can't take down the queen, man.
Can't take down the queen bee.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these have something to do with the Muppets for some reason. What's up with the Muppets? People are into Muppets?
People have some weird kinks. I'm not judging, but you do.
Yeah, here's another one. And it's Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande. Apparently they're trick-or-treating, but with Easter egg baskets.
That doesn't seem that bad.
No, not bad at all, but that was removed. Now there's some pretty gnarly ones that I haven't found, but I'm going to stop it searching. I just wanted to see if it could find it. If AI can find it and delete it, then AI should be able to find it.
Yeah, it's tough. I can't imagine. These things look real. This is such the tough part of AI is like, at what point can you not tell if it's AI or not? You know what I mean? Like, hey, they were actually doing that. At what point do people start believing that is truth? And that's a problem.
Yeah,
I do believe it's a problem.
I can make AI. With Shane 3, I can make AI that's super convincing that you wouldn't know.
And that's a problem to me. It's a problem in a society where, the truth is even more, diminished than it's ever been. And now AI is just going to help us continue to not tell the truth.
That's true.
It's very difficult to know what to believe anymore. I go about my day reading stuff. My first thought is none of this is true. No matter what I read, and I suggest you guys all do the same thing. Whenever you read or listen to something, say, I don't believe any of this stuff. Okay. And then as you get more information, then you can form your own opinion. But it's very hard to do because we don't have time. Like I spent 3 hours this morning, preparing for the Civil War story, because I needed to know exactly what happened. I couldn't just trust one site. I had to go to like 3 or 4 different sites to get the facts. It's very difficult to do and time consuming. So, how do people create narratives? How are you guys supposed to create your opinions if you're just not sure if it's true? And so most people, because they don't have the time, they just believe what they see from people they think that they trust. But unfortunately, most people are not telling the truth.
Yeah.
Not completely.
Yeah. That's, we should do an experiment where, and anyone can see this, but there's not very many people here, where maybe we like start putting like, I'm gonna put up a random. It'll be weeks from now. You don't even remember this. It'll be an image of me and Shane, candid image, on the bridge of the starship or something like that. and see how many people can tell if it's fake or not.
Well, just because it's on the bridge of a starship, they're going to tell it's not fake.
No, but like it'll look like a set photo or something. I'll make it look like it's believable.
All right.
Something like that. I bet you people will not be able to tell. They'll be like, "Oh, you visited this." I bet you $10.
All right, let's get into what you guys want to talk about, because that is why we are here. Drew D, did you guys talk about Alec Baldwin? I got here late. And Kenneth Rook said nope. And we did not talk about Alec Baldwin because I actually did not see the news on it.
Apparently, he's getting another charge for some kind of something regarding the Rust shoot.
So January 19th. Wow, that was 10 days ago. So they did indict him. I missed that somehow when it first came out. So they indicted Alec Baldwin on January 19th on involuntary manslaughter charges. Interesting.
Okay, because initially he had gotten cleared, right? So this is a new charge?
Yeah, it was dismissed last April. The latest development raises the question, what changed? The first case against Baldwin may have fallen apart, but the grand jury clearly found new evidence to be convincing enough to revive the case. In light of the indictment, SAG-AFTRA, the Actors Union, published a statement on Thursday that supports Baldwin and places responsibility for firearm safety not on actors, but squarely upon the armorers and employers of film sets. Well, surprise, surprise, SAG-AFTRA wouldn't want to. Of course, they're going to want to not have actors be. The problem is that Alec Baldwin was a producer on that film,
right?
And he was in charge of what was happening on that set.
Yeah, they pinched pennies, and a reason why this happened was because they didn't hire the right people because they were trying to save money.
Yeah, and they didn't have whoever's in charge didn't have rules in place. And Baldwin, I mean, listen, it's a weird situation. Not only is he the one that pulled the trigger, which makes it even worse. And, but he's supposed to check the chamber, right? The guy who handed it to him was supposed to check it was supposed to be checked, and they didn't. They made a mistake.
Yeah. Someone died because of their incompetence. So someone needs to be punished for it, for sure.
They made a mistake. And, the fact that they were allowing people to shoot, they were using those guns to shoot actual live bullets on a range there on the set.
Right.
And I don't know if he specifically allowed it to happen, but they knew it was going on. So I don't know why you wouldn't check that gun. I mean, it's gross negligence. And if you're in the chain of command, you need to get in trouble, period.
100%.
Actor, non-actor. If you are part of in the chain of command, guess the buck stops with the boss. Whoever's in charge, ultimately, it stops with them.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Now, should he go to jail for that? I don't know. I don't know if he
should go to jail, but he should definitely there should be some sort of heavy penalty. I mean, when someone's life is gone because of your mistake, I always go back to the my uncle drove a vehicle. He was driving drunk, and his passenger was also drunk, but they were out cruising around, and he got in a car crash. His passenger friend died, and he spent 2 years in prison for it. So, I mean, maybe a little jail time wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe not. All right. Yeah, it's complicated. Yeah, bottom line is he is partly, at least partly responsible for someone dying. So that's the definition of involuntary manslaughter, if you ask me.
Yeah, and there might be more information on it. That just happened to be when I do a quick look on it, but
yeah. Yeah, someone said here a massive
trial.
What's that?
He wants a speedy trial. Something else. Alec Baldwin wants speedy trial and Rust shooting death. These sites have so many damn ads. It's almost impossible to see.
Get an ad blocker, dude.
I had that, but it was screwing up something else. No, it's not just those ads. It's like when you scroll down, just inside their own article is just stupid shit. Read this story. Read this story.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I blocked like 500 people on Twitter now, because they all reply to a thread with their own completely unrelated thread to try to get promoted. So I'm just blocking anyone that does that. I block because it's the most infuriating thing. I scroll down to see what people's thoughts are on it, and like the first like, check out my Indiana Jones cosplay. F off. Stop doing that.
Oh, dude, look at this. This is Fox News. Join Fox News for access to this content. So unless I sign up, I can't get access to it.
And you got to disable Java. There's ways around it, but
well, I'm just saying the point. This needs to stop. This whole thing of like, subscribe to learn what this is. There's literally 50 stories out there about this.
It's the only way they can make any money, dude. They're just getting reamed. Like hand over fist.
Yeah, I guess because they should be allowed to advertise on these sites, but guys like you don't take it down.
Well, you know what? Don't make your ads malicious, overtly sexual, or completely flood my page to the point where I'm having a seizure. Like, be reasonable.
That's true. They need to be more reasonable.
I whitelist sites. That I think are reasonable, but a lot of these sites are ridiculous, bro. Back in the day, the only time you went to a page that had 15 pop-ups and bright flashing Viagra ads was when you were on a probably illegitimate porn site. And now it's like CNN. So like, come on. Stop it.
John Burns, member for 26 months. Thank you, John, for being a member for so long. We appreciate you. Baldwin's stunt double had 2 misfires earlier.
Fascinating.
They just ain't taking care of their business. Brett Walker says the actor should be responsible to check or make sure the weapon is checked before. If they didn't, they are culpable. Period. Yes, Brett, I totally agree with you there. Drew D says put him on probation at least. Yeah, something's got to happen. According to Baldwin, the armorer told him to check the gun after being handed it, and he said no. Really? Really? Is that true? So Baldwin, the armor told him to check the gun, and Baldwin said no, and Baldwin admitted this?
Oh, God.
I got to see that. Send me a link to that, Drew. I want to see that one.
No. I'm going to shoot someone, damn it.
Brett Walker here says, I'm the same way, Shane, when I only research the ones I give a shit about and assume we as Americans are going to assume the worst. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're there, It's tough to know what's real. I feel like, going through Twitter, I was telling Brian yesterday, I'm like, I feel like going through our Twitter is just so awful. It's so like negative, and I can't just have like good conversation. I put a tweet up about I shared a video of a kid with a construction truck, and he ran across the street with a little toy because there was a giant dirt digger like digging up the side of the road, and he was so excited. The boy was like 3-4 years old or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the construction guys put his truck down, and they actually used the giant truck to dig up some dirt and pour it into his little truck.
Oh, that was awesome.
There's a video. And I'm like, can we please have more content like this?
Yeah,
please.
That was really great.
Like, I just can't take this constant, revulsion of everybody else.
Barrage of negativity.
Yeah, it's just terrible. Somebody posted up a picture. It was a guy with a shirt. It said, fuck Trump and fuck you if you like Trump. And I'm just like,
damn dog.
Why as human beings do we hate somebody because of something else that they like?
Right.
I don't have that feeling about any human being. Like, if you like something that I hate, no problem. I mean, if you're a Bills fan, I don't hate you. Right. I wish you would pick a better team, but I don't fucking hate you for real. I wouldn't like beat you up and like shoot you or something if you came near me. And that's what's happening here on social media. And it's just like, I wish some people would grow the fuck up. I mean, it's just really.
But Shane, what if I liked Star Trek Discovery?
I still wouldn't hate you. I would feel bad for you.
I set you up for a joke, and you totally faltered here.
I did. No, it was great. No, I did.
You've been like, well, I would have disowned you for sure, but I don't hate you.
No, I would listen if you like Star Trek. No, but you see, I've always said I don't mind if you like Star Trek. Now if you like Barbie, because now and here I will say this: if you like Barbie because it puts men in their place, I may not like you very much.
Yeah. Barbie's the best
time,
movie ever because it really shows how evil men are.
Yeah. So I'm probably not going to like you very much, but also at the same time, I'm not going to try to hurt you. I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to beat you up.
You're not going to wear a shirt that says like F you.
Yeah, I'm not going to be like F you Barbie lovers. like when you get to that point, any human being who gets to the point where you want to advertise your willingness to be violent against somebody else because of something that they like, you need to ask yourself, what's happened to me?
Shane, wait. I have one that you can't deny here.
Do it.
What if I liked pineapple on pepperoni pizza?
I like pineapple on pepperoni
Son
pizza.
of a bitch.
I do.
Wait.
I love it.
What if I preferred cheddar cheese to mozzarella on my pizza?
A little bit of both is really good, actually.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah,
Stop being reasonable.
My favorite pizza has both.
Cheddar cheese belongs nowhere near a pizza. I can handle some pineapple because you're a weirdo.
You and I are going to share a pizza at some point, and you're going to totally change your mind.
Bro, you're crazy.
I promise you will.
All right,
it's called Klondike Pizza in Rio Grande. I'm telling you, it's the best pizza in the world.
Get out of
Cheddar
here.
And mozzarella.
Oh, my God.
Really good.
Just stepping on my points, dude.
Let me try to think of, is there anybody that you would hate, like for something that let me think.
I really don't care what people like or dislike. I might not understand it. I might not have the same opinion. And quite frankly, you like some movies where I'm like, how did you get any kind of entertainment out of this? But like, it does. Look, here's the way I am. I'm like a libertarian in the truest sense of the words. Like, if it doesn't affect me at all, then I have no opinion of it, And I'm not going to judge someone based on something that doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me or mine. It doesn't affect me, my kids, and my wife. Cool. Now, if it starts affecting me in roundabout ways, like because you like Star Trek Discovery so much, you have this vocal fan base that won't let the goddamn thing die, and I'm not getting my Star Trek, then that makes me a little angry.
Yeah, well, if you have an agenda to stop all other Star Trek,
right,
then that's different.
So now you're affecting me, right?
Right, now you're affecting me. Like if you're affecting my children or my family or my life, yes, that's a huge problem, and we're going to have a problem. Yeah, we're going to have some sort of altercation.
Yeah, so like with the Captain Kirk thing, not including Captain Kirk in any of the advertisements for any of the stuff going forward, box art, streaming stuff, none of the first context. Like they're doing that on purpose, and it's to remove that part of the history that I'm so attached to, so that they can rewrite their own going forward, and that bothers me because it does sort of roundabout affect me.
Right, but do you want to go and punch them in the face and hurt them?
No, of course not.
Right, that's the difference.
Yeah, no. On the flip note, though, if someone ever done anything to hurt my kid,
yeah, of course,
it would be like overreaction would not be the right word.
I don't think it's an overreaction if it's your child.
Yeah, I would remove that person's bloodline. It would be criminal, and I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
it would be horrible. I watched a video recently on I believe Instagram or something, where it was a police camera footage. I think I have it. I won't show it here. It might be too gnarly. But this police officer pulls up. I think it was a she. It was a he, and he gets out, and there's a woman on the ground in broad daylight being raped by a man with a knife. At knife point. Jesus. And this cop walks up and he pulls his gun, pops, and goes, and just pop, 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 and just empties the load into the rapist. Okay. Empties the entire clip. Right? And then at some point he pulls the clip out and he realizes he has a one last round in the chamber, and he points and pops that one too. He literally just empties an entire clip into this guy. And people are like, oh, don't you think that's police brutality? That, like excessive force much? Like, motherfucker, dude, there's no excessive is not a word in this case. I'm glad. You know what I'm mad. You know what I'm mad about that officer for? Not using the second clip. You should have pulled the second clip out too. He pulled it and he just aimed it like he was protecting himself. Like the guy in broad daylight in the middle of the street was raping a 15-year-old girl at knife point. I'm sorry. There's nothing excessive. There's no excessive here.
True.
You are going to die like a dog in the street, and everyone's going to see it. And it's not wrong that cop did that. Not in the least. And the people defending him, like, one guy was like, oh, this gets my goat, man. Oof. One guy was like, I have a wife and 2 daughters, and if we were tied up in our home, and men said, "Would you like me to rape or kill your daughters?" I would always choose rape. And I'm like, what is the point you're trying to make, you weirdo? You're saying that murder is worse than rape? Yeah, it's more finite. But it's not the same situation, you dickhead.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I mean, and there has to be a limit to what police are allowed to do. But I think in the case of somebody's being attacked and their life is in danger, then you have to kill that person.
And think about this. He has a knife on top of this girl. If the cop gave him too much time to react, that girl would be dead, or most likely be dead.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question would be, at what point, does he unload his clip into him and then realizes he has one extra bullet, checks, and then shoots him again? So, I mean,
that was the part where I was like, well, it wasn't necessary, but
like,
I applaud you, sir.
I mean, right. So the dad in you applauds him. The person who's,
he realized he had one in the chamber. He's like, oh, wait. He was pointing, he goes, oh, wait, pop again. And then he pulled it.
I mean, listen, cops are people too, and they're going to they're going to do their best, but they're also going to make, personal decisions as well.
Yeah. But the simps in the comments trying to advocate on behalf of the rapist was like,
I mean, does that surprise you?
I mean, it did a little bit. Yeah.
It shouldn't. There's people who will argue about anything oppositely. You got to remember also all the things that are happening online. This is such an important thing. All of you guys who are commenting right now, right? You're commenting, and maybe it's a little more, you control yourself a little bit because we know you and we go back and forth. And so we kind of all have this relationship together, right? So maybe a little bit you hold what you say, but you're pretty loose about the things you say. Imagine if nobody knew who you were and you're in an environment where there's no repercussions at all. Nobody's going to think differently of you.
Right.
Why won't you just say whatever is the first thing that comes to your mind? The human mind is incredible. We think of some pretty radical fucking shit.
Yeah.
But when people put that out, they don't go, oh, well, this is one human being thinking something, whatever. They go, oh my God, that's what that person will do tomorrow. That person is going to go do that. No, we have these social fantasies that we live out in our brains because you can't live them out in reality. And when you combine those two things on social media, it becomes a little bit, the lines are blurred on what people are capable of and what people believe what you say. It's just very complicated.
Yeah. Case in point, Taylor Swift, naked in a dirty alleyway getting plowed by Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah. So somebody came up with that and put it out there for the world to see.
Right.
And yeah,
no,
they probably wouldn't have brought that to a Taylor Swift concert and asked her to autograph it.
Right. Yeah. They're probably not going to show their family their amazing artwork. That's
probably
all I'm
not.
saying. Yeah. That might be something that they don't share. Right.
So, I mean,
it's like, Mom, look what I made. What the fuck?
Do you remember that old thought? Have you ever seen the movies?
Jeff, get in here.
Do you remember the movies or TV shows where like you could read everybody's minds? What the lesson always was like, oh God, I don't want to be able to read everybody's minds.
God.
Right?
Yeah. What was it? What women think, what men think, or something like that?
Yeah, that was a movie. Yeah. What
Women Think was more popular because it wasn't like horrible. But then when they tried to make like the What Men Think, it was just like all perversion. Like it didn't work. There was nothing comedy about it. It was just assault.
And social media to some degree is that. It's just another, it's people being able to, depending on how much they want to put out there, it really could be just your personal fantasies. And we've taken those now to the news cycle. One person could say something absolutely ridiculous, and if they get enough people who look at their post or respond to their post, then some stupid news site is going to put it out there and say, people believe this thing that happened because you and your devious, horrible inner psychology decided to put it out there on X, and then a bunch of people responded to it. Now it's the truth. Now it belongs in the world. I mean, that's what that's what's the danger of what we do.
You goddamn deviants.
I mean, come on. All right, what else can we talk about here?
Yeah, even deviant art, which, by the way, you would have assumed was always going to be a porn site, considering it's called deviant art.
Mm-hmm.
But for the longest time, it wasn't. It was for artists, right? It was for people to share their artwork.
It's actually a pretty cool thing.
It is. Well, it has become just overwhelmingly, overwhelmed with NSFW. It's basically just a porn site, for crazy fantasy stuff.
It's what happens when you don't let young people date. That's what happens. They express their sexual frustrations through art.
Yep. And now you have a centaur having sex with a fairy. This is what you get. It's just grotesque stuff, bro. Just furries suck each other up. Like, what's happening right now? Who likes this? Who is into this?
I never seen any of that stuff, but okay.
Well, you don't spend a lot of time on DeviantArt then. That's all I'm saying.
I don't spend any time looking at things that are too weird. That's for sure.
Oh, you know what? You don't have to make thumbnails, dude. Okay.
I get it. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, like, I'm not intrigued by the idea of, like, you're all into the AI thing and like different, you're an artist kind of guy. So this is your thing. Like, to me, that stuff is just, it doesn't do anything for me. So I don't care.
What if I was able to bring Dan Marino back and have him replace Ron Jeremy in your favorite 80s porn?
Do you ever look at the guy? I'm just saying. I don't know why the guy's face has ever shown anything.
That's the right answer. We should say
who it is.
Who's Ron Jeremy?
If you don't know who Ron Jeremy is, you're lying.
Yeah, you're lying. Anyone who says that is lying. They know. He's like the most famous porn star
of all time.
All time. He's like, if there was a Hall of Fame, he'd be number one.
Right.
And it's hilarious that you'd be number one for being so gross and somehow still being so successful in this genre.
It wasn't about the rest of his body.
I know. It was just about that one part. That's how just
about the hammer.
The one
about the hammer.
It's the one part. Just this gross Italian guy, fat Italian guy.
Balding long hair. No Money G for $10. Thank you for saving us from this conversation.
I know. Yeah. We're really going to a weird place.
Are you guys going to CinemaCon this year? I'm thinking of going just to get away. I get 4 nights free in any MGM resort. It's April 8th through the 11th. Great show, guys.
I'm staying with you, bro.
So much No Money.
I'm staying with you, No Money.
There you go. If you got room for Brian.
No Money, G. If you got room for me, I'm there, dude. I'm actually able to get CinemaCon passes, but I just couldn't. I can't afford a hotel and all that right now.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening in April, but yeah, maybe. I know last year we got to go around this time. That's when we got to do the Picard season 3 thing.
Yeah, I missed out last year, and so like I remember telling myself, God, I'm not going to miss out on the meetup this year because they're going to rent the theater again. I don't want to miss out again. Yeah,
it was fun. It was fun. Maybe, yeah.
Matt even told me that Matt's like, Matt sent me a link. He's like, get your passes, get this, you gotta get this going before you don't miss out this time. I'm like, thanks, bro, appreciate it. He's right though. We gotta if we're gonna go, we gotta look into it now, not like 3 months from now.
That's true. Yeah, it'd be fun. Hopefully we can do that. It'd be awesome.
Matt's a great guy. I'm sorry. I just thought about it around. He's looking out to make sure that I remember that I wanted to go. That's such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah. He didn't ask me. So he's a nice guy. He didn't ask me if I was coming.
Maybe he just assumes we're a package deal. Maybe.
I know you guys are watching this.
Maybe he just assumed you're a package deal, bro. Like,
no.
You guys gotta get it going now.
I stopped participating in stuff because for whatever reason, when I started coaching soccer, I just had no more time to do the extra, the meetups and the monthly things. The timing has just been terrible. I haven't been avoiding him, but I'm sure he thinks I am. So, yeah.
I believe it. I believe you are.
No.
Have you heard about this thing called the Betts Mystery Sphere?
No.
All right. So the sphere, and I'm wondering if this is a good story for Wednesday. I'm asking the neighbor. I'll ask you guys right now. It's the alien orb inside the eerie UFO riddle of the Betts Mystery Sphere, a 22-pound metallic ball found in a garden that behaved by itself. You've never heard of this?
Never heard of it.
Okay, we're going to talk about this on Wednesday.
Save it for Wednesday. Yeah, that's cool.
It's too good. Too good to not talk about.
No Money G says, I can get any MGM hotel suite. I always get a double queen bed suite. There you go, Brian.
Nice. Well, I do sleep in the nude, though. I mean, fully nude.
You don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care. He knows that. I mean, obviously.
And I don't like covers. I feel like they're too encumbering. And I require the lights to be on at all times.
Now you know Brian and I aren't sleeping in the same room.
The only way I can sleep is if the lights are totally 100% brightness and my covers are completely off and I'm totally nude. Also, before I go to bed, I have to cover myself in Vaseline
because I knew that was coming. Yes. So if someone attacks you, they just slide off your body in the middle of the night. Yeah, that's if you get attacked, they'll slide off of you. That's why
I'm like the greased up guy from Family Guy.
I get it.
Oh,
gotta protect yourself. Is CinemaCon here in Vegas? Yes, it is, Brett Walker.
Yeah,
sure
it is.
And it's a good time. They usually show like a movie that's getting ready to come out. What would they show? Probably something like coming out in June. Last year they showed The Flash.
Yeah.
And a couple other movies. And they got, it's a pretty cool convention. It's actually one that would be fun to go to. I think Chris Gore and those guys go to it as well. So it'll be fun. Robert Meyer Burnett. So
yeah.
It'd be a fun trip.
Would be. All right, we're gonna.
What else we talk about?
Unless you want to talk about something else.
Let's get one more comment here, just so we got something. I want to make sure we need to spend more time engaging with these comments.
That's true.
Okay, and I know I've been pushing it, and this is 100% Brian's fault for not doing it. So, Brian, I'm going to let you pick the next comment.
Okay, I'm going to pick the next comment. Ready? I don't know. There's a lot of good ones in here. John Burns, always fun, John. Yeah, I love your comments. Civil War is still hell. Military training instead of chemical attacks. My squad and I were forced to look at nude Justin Trudeau photos. Many of us lost weight due to the constant vomiting.
That's true. Yeah, naked Trudeau was no good.
And here we go. The only time warm pineapple is acceptable is pineapple upside down cake. I agree with you, sir.
That's good.
Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya? Question mark. Ugh.
Yeah, as far as like people upsetting you. Greased up Bigfoot spotted in my resort bed. No photos taken. Thank God. They would think that Brian was a Bigfoot sighting. You're right. He's hairy. He's a hairy man.
By the way, I also snore, but because I have an extreme anxiety, it comes out like panic. So it's like.
It sounds like a goat. Like a goat scream. Oh, you're so funny. Garrett No Money says, I think Gary and the FNT crew is going also. Yeah, I would not be surprised if they showed up because they usually do the Friday Night Tight Nerdrotic meetup at the same time as CinemaCon. So chances are that we will end up out there. At least I will end up out there because I always go out there to support Gary with that. So
yeah, and Gary always gets on my case and asks me why I'm dodging him.
That's right. He said last time he didn't think you existed.
He said
it's always you. It's your brother.
I'm AI.
We couldn't AI you, dude. It's not possible. They don't have the technology yet.
Imagine if you're the actual tech behind the entire YouTube channel, and you created Shane 3 as a misdirect so they wouldn't know that your brother is actually the AI generated one. That'd be a cool story.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I needed somebody who could.
What are you talking about?
I said Bobcat Goldthwait, and here are the parameters for the
I need someone with a voice so offensive compared to mine. Like, let's go Gilbert Gottfried, Bobcat Goldthwait, both extreme smokers with crushed larynxes.
Hates Chalamet and
Zendaya.
And Zendaya.
And you were watching Family Guy, you know, let's throw some Chris Griffin in there too, because that works.
Super annoying. Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet sucks. Like, no cap, he sucks. And I said that for Shane's benefit because he hates the term no cap.
I fucking hate. I hate internet speech. I hate it.
No cap, dog.
I hate it.
No cap, dog. Straight. Zendaya has no riz.
I don't even know what that means. I hate it. What does no riz mean?
Basically, what I said there was, I'm not joking. She has no allure.
What?
She has
allure?
She's not sexy.
You don't even know when you're not using
riz is like
language.
Charm, sexual attractiveness.
Where did you come up with that?
I didn't come up with that. The internet came up with that. And no cap basically means no joke, or I'm not joking, or I'm being serious.
I think it means no lie, right?
Same concept.
Yeah. I mean, you can't help the new generation coming out with their own language, but why can't you just say no lie? I mean, it's the same fucking number of letters.
Well, it's
LIE and CAP is the same thing. Just say the word. Well, don't say what the meaning of the word. Lie.
I had a buddy that was like the same thing where he's like, he goes, to be honest. And like whenever you start something with, well, to be honest, you're like, wait, stop.
I know.
Does that mean you're not honest the rest of the time?
All the time.
Right.
But you know, I'm so guilty of saying that a lot too. I'm like, listen, honestly. Okay.
Wait. Well, are you dishonest usually?
I want you to take me very serious what I'm about to say. That's what
right. And so you know what that is? That is the new no cap. And at some point, some English proper person, when people kept preceding things with honestly or whatever, they were like, why are you saying it that way? Right. So at some point, someone thought we sounded stupid when we said no cap. And I'm with you. No cap is stupid. Riz is stupid. All these terms are stupid as hell. But at some point, someone thought the way I spoke sounded pretty stupid. I'm sure plenty of people still feel that way.
When you just said that.
To be honest, I'm sure plenty of people still feel that way. Honestly, a lot of people think I'm stupid. They think I'm stupid until I have their AI shut their water off.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
I'm gonna be quiet because there is an AI with my name on it. So.
It's like, hello, Dave.
I'm like, Brian, I can't. My water won't turn on. I know.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Have you checked your email?
No Money G here. I had immediately got tickets for the Picard thing before it was canceled. Cadis said he rented that theater because of me. I had already bought my plane ticket for it. Yeah, actually, you know what's funny, No Money, is I think we've told this story before, but we had gotten the green light on doing Picard season 3 in the theater and everything. So that's why we went forward. The moment we published the fact that we were having this event, Paramount freaked out. Yeah, Paramount freaked out. And apparently Terry's like, stop, don't, knock it off, don't do it. Because Terry was going to come out. We were going to have Terry out there. We were going to have
it was going to be an event.
The actors were going to come out. It was going to be really cool. And
in hindsight, I think we shouldn't have published on Twitter. We should have just kept it YouTube.
Well, yeah, we created a website. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I also think there was some inside stuff going on there.
We should have kept it private, and I think that because we're mostly ignored here, but with the second,
we got the thumbs up from Terry.
Right. Yeah.
That's why we went public. And the moment we did that, everybody freaked out. But here's the thing: is you're right because you bought your tickets, and a bunch of people had actually bought their tickets. Like we were like, well, shit, people have already spent money.
Right.
So that's how come you're right. You're one of the reasons why No Money that we actually made sure that it worked out. And you got to give a huge shout out to the Salty Nerd guys, because they came up with the cash. We were going to use the money on those tickets that were sold to pay for the theater. And so you guys helped pay for that, but Salty Nerd actually came out of their pocket to make that thing happen. So
they really did. They went ham.
Yeah.
Good guys, man. Good people.
We love them. They are our brothers.
Yeah, they really are. I'm going to try
even
to go
even if they're mad at me right now.
Even if they're mad, I'm going to try to go to Vader's barbecue this year. I was going to go last
barbecue.
year.
I didn't even get invited to a barbecue. What are you talking about?
Well, you have to. It's a swingers
barbecue.
It's a swingers barbecue. So.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't swing. What are you talking about? Shut up.
No, he doesn't swing.
I'm clipping that for him. Watch him respond.
All I'm saying is Vader has very attractive feet. Like, you guys think I'm joking? I'm not joking. Those are some good looking feet, man.
All right. And on that note, we should probably.
So I'm going to hang that pineapple upside down on my wall and go to Vader's house. You guys know, if you know what that means, you know what that means.
No idea what that means.
It's a swingers thing. Okay, guys. We love you. It's been fun. We're going to be back on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Please don't miss it. We are talking about Argyle this week on Friday, so that's going to be that's going to be great.
Can't wait to see that.
I'm getting good and bad reports, so regardless, it'll just be a really fun show. Plus, Henry Cavill, our boy's back. So come back for that. Come back on Wednesday. It's going to be a great show. We love you so much. We thank you for supporting us. And you got anything, Shane?
That's it. Love you guys. See you on Wednesday.
See you on Wednesday, folks.